if they heard it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I know it's yeah.
I know. You know.
All right, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Sounded like.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, that was really random. Because it came and went pretty quick. It was just for a couple of them.
Right.
Interesting. Cool. Very cool.
Cool. Very cool.
How's Sarah?
Sarah's good.
Since you ditched us last week?
I was in Texas last week.
Yeah, sucks to be you.
It was great, actually. It went really good. So Mira and DJ moved, and Mira and I drove her plants and her dogs down, and her golden doodle is the biggest golden doodle I've ever seen. He's giant. She's got this little bitty Mazda. It was the most uncomfortable.
So the dog.
He's all up in your fucking shit like, hey.
Oh my god, the whole ride. He took like 10 Benadryl and was still awake. Didn't pee the entire time. The whole
just
fucking
wouldn't?
time. Just would not. Like.
Fucking dogs sometimes.
Fucking dogs sometimes. Oh, but it was super fun. She took the first shift because I worked all day, and then I grabbed a couple double cheeseburgers.
Then you're like,
out.
See ya!
I'm out, yes. And then I took over at like 3:30 in the morning, and then drove all the way through until we got there, and then we showered, and then grabbed a beer, and then we went over to her uncle's house. They made me hang a picture. When I was there, they're like, as soon as I got there, I'm telling them what I do and stuff, and Aunt Carrie's
It's
like,
such like the family situation. Because my aunt would do the same shit.
town.
The one
Here's a ladder and this $200 painting. Can you hang it above the TV? Oh my gosh. Oh,
yeah, we all have the aunts and uncles that do that shit.
Well, and I don't mind that stuff. Like, I don't necessarily mind it. It's kind of
still kind of annoying though. Like,
it kind of is, but it's kind of. I mean,
like, I
it's
just
okay.
drove all night. Like,
It's fine. It's really fine.
Just the
It was
family that
hilarious.
asks you to do stuff in general is kind of funny.
I don't mind it.
Just like mechanics, I guess more specifically. is like we're meeting up for Easter with our family. And then we're gonna go to church and do Easter egg hunt for Dorothy, and just gonna do typical Easter shit. And then also on a side note, I have to bring my stuff so I can program some key fobs while I'm there.
oh.
Yeah. That kind of shit, like, we're all together for like a cool family thing, but hey, can you fix my carburetor?
I learned to say fuck no. Yesterday I tried to do it. So I took my cousin, his birthday was Sunday. So I took him out for lunch like yesterday. So he couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it Sunday, and then he couldn't do it the following couple days. So I took him out to lunch yesterday, and then on the way back, he sees like, he's fucking buys and sells lawnmowers is what he does. He sees a fucking free sign on a lawnmower, and it's like, I guess we're fucking, he's all turning around. I was like, no, you can come back and turn around. Okay, fine. We'll put it in my truck and get it all dirty. Like,
Fine.
I mean, it ran, so I was kind of surprised.
It's not even for my mom's car either. It's for her fiance's car.
When's the day?
So,
I like your new glasses.
sometime in June. Thank you. Yeah, 'cause we're moving into her house in June. That's the only reason I remember that. But it's like early June, I think.
Okay. Do you need help moving?
I don't know. Just burn them all down, buy new shit.
Alright, fair enough.
That's all.
If you need help either watching Dorothy or moving.
Yeah, I'll probably get a few people. Just because I know I'm going to fill a 26-foot U-Haul.
Well, and then I've got my truck. It's easy.
And then I've got my van, my 4Runner, and her Highlander. So we'll have plenty of room, just a lot of shit.
Yep.
Like me and Seth, we got both of our stuff moved in one day. But now, having a kid, it's not like Mikkel can help me the whole time. Like someone's got to watch
Right.
Dorothy.
Well, it comes out, just say, hey, what's up? It takes a couple hours. It's not bad.
I also don't want to get the bed down from upstairs.
Oh my gosh.
The staircase is too small. It's like for mattresses and whatever, it's fine. But we got Seth's bed frame and my bed frame up there. Mine was like a skinny bed frame, so it wasn't as bad, it was more flexible. He had like a big rigid motherfucker.
Right.
There's a giant gouge in the fucking drywall, and you can see where it was shittily repaired from somebody who'd done the same thing before. Because it's 2 steps, a 90-degree, and a really tight ceiling the way it's designed.
I remember, yeah.
So you just have to kind of fucking lean into it, and it'll go.
That's like this couch,
like
down those stairs.
Yeah. Yeah, this couch through anything, dude. It's still a fucking huge couch. It's big, it's nice, but it doesn't move well. So I remember when we got this in, we had to go through the sliding glass door, and I had to pull like all the stoppers and shit off so the door could open like a little bit more, so we could kind of fucking ram it through. It was funny as shit. Yeah, I'm not thrilled to move though. I fucking hate moving. I'm excited to be.
I didn't like moving one door over.
Yes. I'm excited to be where we're going, but I just don't want to move.
Right. I mean, unless you don't have like, you're not like in a fucking like a 2-bedroom like upstairs apartment situation where everything has to fucking go down the stairs. That's when it's a pain in the ass.
Well, I'm thinking about like, because we're gonna like go through a shit and what do we need and not need, blah blah blah. Like, I will just hire one of those like 1-800-GOT-JUNK motherfuckers. I'm not going to the dump because like we've got 2 queen beds, and we only need to take 1 with us. So I don't want to go to the landfill and worry about all that shit on the same day that we're moving.
Just get one of the
those dumb
like the
roll-offs.
Yeah, they have small ones. So you don't need to like get like a huge one. Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it. Is get rid of.
Dude, I'm pumped for my office. I've already put shit together in my head. It's at my desk. Got my new monitor already. I'm saving up for that microphone. $700 for the nice Shure microphone with the very nice arm.
The arm is really what matters on that situation. That's
the Shure mic's only $400.
Right.
The other mic's like the arm's like 180, but it's nice. The cable's concealed. Like it's all internal. It's like
that's
very nice.
It's all future for this too. Like I'm on.
Yeah.
As I was saying like earlier, like this one will just drill holes in
one is different than you buying 4.
Right.
You got 4 Shure microphones and 4 nice arms. That's what? $4,500.
Yeah, it's
camera
cameras
yeah.
first.
These work.
So hopefully camera is next month. I think I have enough to push through next month for a camera. Like it's something that I want, but it's also like
how much longer would it take for you to save up for the one you want?
It's 3 times as much money.
So like a day?
No, like the camera that I'm buying is $1,600.
Right.
But the camera that I want's $4,000. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like it's a trivial like amount of money, and for what I'm going to use it for right now.
I also kind of wish I had a different webcam. Like mine's nice, but it's like it's so widescreen that even it's right in front of me on my stream. You can see my whole fucking room.
Why don't you crop it on the screen?
It never stays ever.
In this like put
I
a scene.
I go through the settings and go through and adjust the size and the focus, and like make it what I want to see.
Are you doing it within OBS or are you doing it within
Slobs?
Really?
I'm doing it in like the menu to adjust that camera input. And it'll stay there for like 10 minutes. And then if I go look at it again, it's back to the original ratio. Every single time I try to do it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things you gotta create a scene for it, so it's always turned on to that scene and not change the settings of the camera within Slobs. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. So then so basically your camera settings is the same, but then like it only takes the portion of it that you want.
And that's why I want to have all this stuff ready by June, the end of June. Because probably when I move, I won't stream for a little bit. Just because I want to get my office set up. So I have my standing desk with my new monitor. That should show up next week. I'm fucking pumped. I'm going to need I don't know how to turn it to 144 and do all that shit.
That's gravy.
You'll help me when we get there. But I'm still going to do it in the living room. I have to move everything. At least I don't have to fucking do this at a 55-inch TV. I actually look at like a normal screen. Because it's the LED 1080p up to 165 in 1 millisecond. So it'll be nice versus the 55.
Well, it might actually help your shooting out a little bit too, because you won't have to like look around the screen.
Dude, last night I was on fire.
You were doing pretty good last night.
And you know what I did right before we played? I was fucking around on Aiming Pro. just the beginner levels, dude. I took the have you ever messed with Aiming Pro?
No, just because I think that I do okay, so I don't. I mean, we play enough that I don't need to train. So
we, it was kind of a nice warm up, honestly. But when you first get cause it's a free account, whatever, you can pay for more shit. Like they have general training, which I'm in, but like if you pay for it, there's Warzone specific like movement stuff, so you can train like movement in
interesting
how that game works. Which is kind of cool, but I'm not gonna fucking pay for it. I'm not that bad. But there's 4 tests you have to do to get your global rank, just like kind of a pre-test to see where you sit. Sucked it up, dude. Like, and then as I'm doing some more tests, it shows where you are compared to like where elite people are. Like they break it down to like your average people and like the elite people. Not even fucking close.
Well, yeah, there's. It would not surprise me if people cheat those leaderboards too.
Oh, someone's got like aimbot on the
Yeah.
fucking dude. No, come on.
I'm sure people do it though.
I'm sure they do, but I didn't think about it till now. Now I'm just mad. Like, who fucking
People
cares?
are fucking dumb as bullshit. It's like it's stupid. It's just like cheating in casual fucking
You're
game.
gonna mod a fucking software.
People cheat in Grand Theft Auto, like
that's different.
just
That's
to make
like-
you mad.
Right.
Would if you're not high on the leaderboard, that makes you mad, right?
No, I don't care. I'm not gonna be there. I don't give a shit. The highest
I mean,
I
it's
am
just
on
a
any
troll
leaderboard that
situation.
any of us are all in is the wins. Other than that, I'm dumb.
Well,
I'm not that low. I'm in the top 10.
Yeah, you're okay. Like again, like
But dude,
you
last
just fucking
night-
like freaked
Also,
the fuck out.
I've thought about joining the pipeline. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So it's one of Stone's companies.
Oh yeah. I actually do know that.
So I was listening to something he was doing. He was talking about the biggest. It wasn't a pipeline. It was somewhere else. He was talking about like the thing he had to get over the most, like playing wise, to make it fun. And it kind of worked for me yesterday. It was like the fear of like just fucking playing
Right.
and not being scared of it, but not being scared to like hop around the corner and fuck people up. Like,
It
don't
just-
get nervous. Just be calm.
Right, and well, and the idea
that's
too.
what, because somebody asked me in the chat on the stream, they're like, how do you stay so fucking calm during all this shit? He's like, I just learned to.
Right.
Because if not, you do
It-
what I
it just-
do.
right.
You get all jumpy and, like, dude, it was funny when Avery called out Teddy last night for flinching when he got
Oh
shot.
yeah.
There's so many times, like lately, a couple times where I jumped good. Like, mouse out of my hand, gone. You got a problem.
Yeah, Teddy. So when we were playing last night. Teddy was playing with us, and I just killed somebody that got tagged, and then Teddy like went around the corner and like was doing whatever he was doing, and then Avery was playing with us too, but he lives with
I
Teddy.
didn't even
and-
realize I was holding that the entire time I was just talking. Could have said something.
Not rude.
I was rude. I was just sitting here holding it, not doing anything.
She was in her phone anyways.
I was
so.
in my phone anyway.
But
Turn it a
so
little bit.
Avery lives with Teddy and Hannah now currently.
Oh, cool.
And so they have their computers next to one another.
They just want quicker mail.
But yeah, so Teddy got fucking shot. Apparently Avery's like, yeah, his like shoulders went above his head situation.
Fucking flinch. I've caught it a couple times on stream and I've like noted it out and clipped it. There was one where we're getting shot at. Instead of moving my character, I'm ducking in real life. And then I just stopped and looked at the camera right after I died and I was like, fuck.
I've done that in Minecraft when like you're like in like the end world, like 'cause you can't look at these characters, so you have to like to stare at the ground. So then I'll catch myself like staring at my keyboard when I don't need to.
You
Like,
get like a perched up kind of like this.
you're like, man, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing right now? Like, obviously, I don't need to do that.
After I get my office done, and you should think about it too, because we could do some fun shit streaming with that. We should get into some VR shit.
I thought about
Or
getting
that immersive
VR.
thing where like even
VR and me don't get along for very long.
because of your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, because I thought about like instead of like having all the monitor situation, as just getting a VR headset and doing my work and just having a fucking
Fuck that.
like just like impossibly large desktop.
It is.
So like you can just have like fucking huge
But
everything.
Even when I've played with like
can look
Oculus
around.
and stuff, you can do it for I can do it for a little bit, then I gotta take a break because it's like right in your fucking face all the time.
Well, and better like as VR gets better, it has higher resolution, so you don't have that screen door effect that typically is what causes you to get nauseous. Plus, like higher refresh rates also help that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I got one, the one I want's like $1,000, but.
So I want a nice one. That's my next investment after I get my office one.
We can play some Beat Saber and
like Beat Saber, or just like stupid, funny, fuck around, like Gary's mod type shit, where we can just fuck around and just be funny.
right. We're not trying to just be competitive idiots like we are.
Yeah, I can't do it all the time. It's too much BS. Just have fun.
Well, I mean, we do better when we're just having fun too.
We were launching.
But we're all just a bunch of fucking like sweaty bitches sometimes, and it's like.
You said it.
I know.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like we just get like because we'll like start like fucking hot, like fucking good. You're like, yeah, I'm fucking doing good,
your
and then you just
posture
get
definitely
fucking
changes
shit
during the game.
shit on. You're like, fuck.
I think like when you're playing a game in the beginning, you can be all chill, whatever. But like as the game goes, you slowly like start noticing that you're like sitting more straight, like getting more involved.
Yeah. Well, that's like why like I don't like smoke hookah like a lot when I'm playing games anymore. Because I'll just stuff it in my mouth and go, and then I'll be like, ugh.
Stop breathing oxygen.
Gotta pay my shit so they can breathe.
But yeah, it's one of my. That'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun with the right people, though.
Like I said, last night was fun. Like nobody got a butt hurt, which was nice. Like we even said like a couple people sucked to their face, and like it was like nobody got all mad, which is always nice.
Like that every time we played.
There was also like the frustrations of work and shit before, and this is like your like toned
Yeah,
down
but
time.
I play games, so I don't have to worry about that shit. It's part of my like cool down and forget about that kind of garbage.
Yeah, but you get pissed too. Don't pretend.
Oh, I do. But not because my day was hard. I'm pissed off because I sucked.
At least you own it. At least
it's not related to any sort of work thing. So that's actually going pretty well.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah,
good
me and Michaela were talking about that. I think it's the perfect job for me right now.
Good.
I don't do well with like
Managers.
You
So,
did not know this about you.
well, I've got a manager now, but for the most part,
He's pretty hands off.
I'm the service advisor, I'm the mechanic, I'm everything.
Cool.
Which is perfect, because then nobody can fuck anything up for me, except for parts, but that's, you can't get
Well, all automotive parts is.
There's a
Parts people are a certain type of people.
there should be a higher standard.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking...
They're
Hire
all
me for
certain.
McDonald's, can I work here? Yo, dude, come on. Like, the fucking retards, man.
He's not. He's like. No matter where I've worked.
There's more than a 50% chance that you could call and have somebody put you on hold for 5 minutes while they're trying to find fucking blinker fluid and muffler bearings. They're dumb as fuck.
You do know that muffler bearings exist, right?
Yeah, but it's not that common. It's not that common.
No, there's like 3 cars with it.
Most parts stores don't have them laying around. If someone would deliver one to me, like there was this older guy that he was funny. He was more of a delivery driver. He'd fill in on the computer at one of the parts stores that we call. He was just so fun to fuck with because he just doesn't know any better. But it's like an innocent. Just he's old. And like he knows a lot about cars. He'd sit there and talk to him about shit, but he would just kind of forget sometimes, like what the fuck you're talking about. And one day we talked him into trying to find us a flux capacitor for a DeLorean that we were working on. So one of our customers actually had a DeLorean. Like, so he brought it in, and that same driver, the reason we fucked with him because he came in and saw it right there in the front. And we were just talking about it, making fun of it, so it was just supposed to be a joke. But then he like, yeah, I can find that. Let me call you back. I'm gonna do some digging. Dude.
Never.
But his wasn't like dumb. His was just the way he was. But there's some people there that you ask them for a gas cap and they won't even know what to do. They'll bring you like the nozzle for a little gas container, like this.
Oh god.
It doesn't matter like dealership or not. Like I've had like where like I'll call in with a VIN number. Good job making a mess. I just swept and vacuumed, bro.
do it again next week.
I mean, and by I mean my robots.
Well, I still sweep.
I caught him sweeping. He just sweeps and like strategically leaves piles of dirt in front of the robot. So
okay.
up the dirt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like my movable dustpan. I was gonna mop too, but I ran out of time. I'll fucking hit you.
You said that a lot.
And I never have.
Nope. I'm waiting for it.
It's a baseless
It's gonna
threat.
fucking hurt. It's gonna fucking hurt when it happens. I've been saying I'm gonna hit you for years.
Ask Charlie what it feels like.
Nah. I don't think I'll ever be in that boat. I'm not worried about it. If I'm at the point where he's gonna punch me in the face and stick his finger in my butt to calm me down, I got a problem.
Clearly. When I got my COVID vaccine, I told my family.
You got chipped?
I totally got chipped.
Dope.
2 times. It was great. But the second
GPS.
day, yes, the second day, I told my family, they're like, how are you feeling? And I was like, well, I feel like Dick punched me in the arm. It's exactly, like, I feel like I pissed him off and I fucking deserved it. That's how I feel. And then I felt like that was a very accurate description of
It's
what that
available
felt
to
like.
the public as of today.
Yeah, I gotta sign up for it because I want to try to get it before I go to Utah.
Do it.
So that way I don't have to worry about it when I'm in Utah.
I feel so much better. And I just saw the news last night where they said that they've had like a 100% success rate among kids. Which makes
Good.
my heart feel so great.
Yeah, I mean, it's you just basically get a mild form of it, and if they can curb it all, probably there's still gonna be cases going around, that kind of shit, but it's not gonna be near as bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to get it before I go to Utah, just because
it'll turn into like just a normal thing.
Right, kind of like a flu shot situation.
It's funny, it's just crazy still, like how bad it can affect people. Like I finally know somebody who's had it personally, and they're fine. It's just a cold. It really got cold for a couple weeks.
Well, that's some people it's like that. It's fucking nothing, and other people
with those existing conditions, it just fucks them up, man.
Well, even people that don't sometimes there's
still fuck 'em up pretty
yeah.
bad.
And that's the only real word about that was Jack was saying the people that have no taste things after that where they always just feel down and shit for months afterwards, and those are things to worry about. But I mean, it's kind of the way the world turns realistically. So I'll be happy when we go back to oh Sarah, masks.
Yes. Dick. This is great. I'm so excited for this. Yes. Thank you.
That made a lot of noise.
It's a new table.
It's a new used table, so
Brand spanking used.
it's been hookah burned like crazy for years. So
Where did it come from?
came from Kate's. She didn't want it anymore, so I was like,
Fuck it.
it'll work.
Upgrades. It needs RGBs though.
That'd be pretty cool.
Get the tape lights and put them right here on the edge on it, so it just has underglow like a cool fucking party Uber.
That was a pretty rad fucking Uber and Lyft ride last week. I wish kind of we were in it, to be
We
honest.
should just keep ordering Ubers until that guy shows up. They show up, we just cancel it. Nah, we're fine, we'll wait.
Just pay fucking $45 to get up fucking before we get in the Uber Lyft situation.
Great.
Yeah.
By the time he gets here, we can't afford the ride, but good to see you.
Yeah, we went to the last couple weeks we went to the bars afterwards after the podcast.
Oh, cool.
And last week on the way down there, we saw this. It was an Infinity SUV that had underglow like crazy.
Like rainbow underglow going on.
It was pretty rad actually.
And then we saw something quite not as cool, but whatever.
The
valve
Malibu
stem.
with the valve stem RGB.
It's like for your tires, the valve stem caps. You
Uh-huh.
can get some that have lights built in. So when it gets that centrifugal force, they activate, they turn on.
I should put that in my car.
Don't. It's
They're cheap.
they're cheap because they suck. So, you just, I don't think you can't look cool with those. Like, if it's an accessory to your, like, underglow and your other sick rest of your car, if your car is meant to look just
already
silly and cool.
Yeah.
But this was like a stock fucking Malibu. With just random bright green lights. It's really weird.
I thought about getting the ones for like the bicycle that you can put like the lights in the spokes.
Oh yeah.
And you can make it say shit as it goes down the road.
Yeah.
So
That'd be cool.
Yeah, they're actually like not like crazy money either. Like they're
not too bad.
$70 or $80.
They're pretty cool.
Plus, it just makes you like so much more visible to fucking idiots that don't pay attention. Which is
strap my
most
floodlights
people.
on my back.
Just get your you got your Milwaukee batteries. Just get one of the big ass lights that they have, and just put it on your helmet. So you're just a fucking lighthouse, basically.
Great. Or get like one of the little magnetic cop lights, just right on your head. This little siren. You hook up the speaker, wherever that speaker is, to the bike, and just play the siren noise.
Or just. I saw a TikTok the other day. It was like this guy had ordered this programmable horn scenario where you could like make it say things, and he's all bruh, and I think it'd be hilarious. That's like your horn, bruh.
Bruh. That would have been kind of a funny tandem costume for Tour de Fat. If Seth had like a red light on and I had a blue light on, our heads just. Cruising past the cops. And
I'm sure the cops would be pissed.
Probably, but fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, they're already kind of pissed today anyways, since we're just drinking beer while riding bikes around, so...
Alright. Did you really...
I remember one...
impersonating an officer.
I remember who it was, but somebody, like... one of, like, the event staff was, like, taking beer cans from people as they're riding by. Like, you can't be doing this because you're not supposed to. But
you just do it smart.
But you just make sure your beer is empty by the time you get them, so they give you give them the trash. Get rid of.
Right. Oh, hey,
Go look it up, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that's usually the goal on that one. Is like by the time you get there, it's like here you go. Here's all my trash. And there's fucking 15 people behind us with empty beers.
Yeah.
It just helps out on the fucking backpack not being full of empty beer.
That's what we had a trailer for. That was funny.
Yeah, except for your goddamn fucking Dora the Explorer.
That's the best.
No,
Kids loved it, man.
Yeah, kids loved it. I didn't like it after 3 fucking hours.
Yeah, I was a little...
Did you play the theme song the whole time?
I played a dubstep version of the theme song on repeat the entire time.
It was fucking annoying.
I wonder if I still have it on my phone.
It was...
Shit.
Like, when you first start out, it's hilarious. They're dressed up as fucking...
It was funny for the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, and then 3 hours later, I was...
Shut the fuck up!
I would not be good with the kids in, like, the constant replaying of movies. My sister annoyed the shit out of me as a kid doing that, and I don't like it.
Oh, God, I know.
But that's, they like what they like, so you're like, cool, I guess I'm watching this for the 15th millionth time. If I get copyright strike, I probably won't, but...
It wasn't that one. Did they take it off of Apple Music? Damn it. Hold on. It's just all normal on there. It was a party mix, but it was just like Dora the Explorer with a hi-hat.
Yeah, it wasn't like anything different. It was like the last time I saw Crystal Method live, it was fucking horrible. Because they did like basically like dubstep AC/DC for 2 hours, and I wanted to murder. I was like, I did not pay to see one of my favorite like electronic like groups just play AC/DC
I don't know where it is. Look at.
for 2 hours because they were too fucked up, and I was like, I don't like AC/DC because of it. Pretty much, there's that. And when I saw the Roots, they did the same shit. Like it was like they played a bunch of AC/DC. I was like, this is not why I see the Roots. I did not pay $85 to see them play AC/DC songs.
No.
I wouldn't pay $85 to see fucking Axl Rose sing with AC/DC. That was not what I was about. No way. And so I don't like AC/DC anymore because of that situation. fuck AC/DC.
Wow. I really feel a bit.
Remember that we were talking about earlier? People get mad about stuff that really doesn't affect them at all.
Except for that I paid money to see two groups.
Yeah, those two groups
To play-
did their thing.
They're not supposed to play AC/DC. They have original
Well,
music.
that's what they did.
And it was
right?
stupid.
So you'd be mad at them, not AC/DC.
But it made me not like AC/DC.
That's because you're a bitch.
I'm a chat.
You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about
I mean,
you'd be mad at the group that fucked it up for you, but
Right.
AC/DC didn't ask them to do that.
you're not wrong.
I know.
But
Definitely
it made
not.
me. But every time I hear AC/DC, all I think about is those two fucking concerts that were garbage that I paid way too much money for
Right.
because of AC/DC.
No, because they made a poor choice.
So yes, but that
Poor
still
life
doesn't
choices.
mean I want to hear AC/DC anymore.
Maybe
That's
you
the
should just
personal
be
part.
mad at yourself about it.
That's true.
Because
You're the one who bought the
you're
ticket
the
to go
one
see
who
the
bought a
shit.
ticket.
So it is your fault. You're mad at AC/DC because of a decision you made.
Wah, wah.
You
You should
both
write
can
an
go.
apology. You need to change your Google review.
Ya both can shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna hit you.
Why did you call me out of my shit, you guys?
Dude, be cool.
Fuck you, be cool.
I'm just saying, I don't like AC/DC because of it now. It's their fault.
It's
It's
not
not
their
AC/DC.
fault.
It's not AC/DC's fault.
No.
I'm not saying it is.
You
You just did!
I said fuck AC/DC because I don't want to listen to it anymore. The same thing like there's music you don't fucking like. What do you say about that?
I like most music.
I know you're weird. Well, you're not weird, but like, yeah, actually for like most people that is weird to like a lot of different music. Because I'm like the same way. I like a lot of different shit and like, you know, like I've gone to country shows, I've gone to fucking hip hop shows, I've gone to fucking, you know, electronic and bluegrass and all sorts of shit. People are like, oh, I couldn't do that, and it's like, expand your horizons a little bit.
Grow up, bitch.
Now, as a genre, country
This is
music is
high school.
garbage,
You
but
can learn like more than one thing. It's fine to be many different things at once.
right. I agree. You do like shit that I don't like, though.
Like women.
I know she is one.
Oh, shit. I just keep picturing like some dumb redneck motherfucker. Oh, she got one.
I mean, Eric's not far from that situation, so.
I don't know anything about those, but I know my sister's got one.
It's like super Alabama.
I don't know much about him, but my sister let me poke hers once.
It's the wet belly button. It's fine.
You mean the underbutton? Yeah, I know about those. Underbutton.
We're gonna start calling it that now.
Underbutton. It's like your belly button, but it's wet down there. It's in your underbutton.
Is that what they call it?
That's so.
As of now, as of today, hashtag underbutton.
It's ridiculous.
People who viewed hashtag underbutton also took a big liking to hashtag, what was it, cum savers? What was it?
Cream
Cream
save.
save.
Cream savers? That was so funny that you were getting comments about that.
Yeah, people like texted me about that. Like, should I watch it later? Yeah. Evan was one of them, and he was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys?" And I was like,
We're just inventing things. Chill out.
Wait till we have patents, you assholes.
"That shit was super fucking
Wait till
funny."
cream
though.
savers
Yeah.
make us rich.
Literally, we
I-
can go hit up some celebrities like, listen, here's the deal.
I mean, what do you got? Gwyneth Paltrow like basically does that shit anyways. Like with her
Yeah.
like scented candle bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
there's a Kim Kardashian one coming out apparently.
Let's
We
make
should
Kim,
make some.
let's make a Kim cream saver. Hashtag Kimmy.
So many people would buy that shit just because their
You
name's
bet
on it.
your fucking
Mocha
ass
Tang's
they
Grundle
would.
scented candle. You get the entire Grundle experience.
You just get the fucking it's like Dick's taint.
Underbutton. The flame on the candle would have to be now under button. Under button scented candle.
Anybody need one?
I'll take one.
I do need one as well.
What
Thanks
are
for
you
asking.
drinking? What are you drinking?
Beer. Booze.
Well, which one? Shit.
Wet one.
Well.
Just reach down and grab whatever.
Not that one. I can't even see what it is. That works. Thank you.
It's like where do you want to eat? I don't care. Okay, we're good. No, I don't want that.
Oh,
Not that
God.
one. I already did that one.
I am not like that.
Yeah.
Definitely not like that. Mm-mm.
I'm usually I don't care as long as it's not what I had yesterday.
I will eat what I had yesterday.
I don't care what we
Yeah.
I will eat.
That's typically my only like.
I fucking love food.
When I asked my cousin where he wanted to eat yesterday, he's like, "So what do you think about this?" And I was like, "I don't give a fuck. Let's just fucking drive there."
So my stomach definitely does not agree with cheese and dairy.
Yeah.
Ooh, no.
I took a break for a few days and I felt so much better. And then I got Little Caesars for dinner.
Well, I mean that's
Well,
just.
okay, that's not a very good gauge. Let's be honest here.
It was the only dairy I'd eaten in a few days. Like dairy in general, so like milk,
Damn.
cheese, all of it. And then I ate that. The next morning was a mud fountain.
You shut.
Did you create a Bono?
Scream and you missed
I
every
could have
wire.
possibly beat Wingate's record. It was just straight down, so you can't tell. But
Oh, that's awful.
You either lost
I feel so bad
flashback.
for you.
No.
it's got a brown toilet now. You know when poop hits like the dry surface of a toilet, it sticks like a motherfucker?
I mean, clean your toilet.
Yeah, I've got a fucking toilet brush right next to it.
Or just like drink more water or something, because like I don't have the problem.
When I have explosive butt problems, I paint that fucking toilet.
Fucking clearly.
It's like a paintball grenade went off.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I definitely went.
Thank you,
no
Jesus.
chill
I don't have that
for
problem.
myself.
I don't have that problem.
No, I'm saying.
Definitely
Yeah, I mean, if I have dairy, I mean, I don't know. Like a couple weeks ago, like me and Seth stopped at Chiba Hut when we were going in to pick my Subaru up for my mom, and I got a grape ape. I don't know if you've ever had that. It's so fucking good. What?
Are you fucking kidding
No,
me?
they're definitely not muted.
Test. Yeah, no, I see the equalizer moving. Is your computer
I
muted?
can't hear anything. I can hear other screams.
Weird, because it's totally moving on the computer and everything.
Pulled up on Twitch?
I'm going to.
Jokes.
Okay, you fucking clown.
April Fool's-ish. Fucking.
I was like, I totally checked it prior to going live. I didn't like log into a stream, I guess, but fucking Avery,
Dick.
goddamn mailman. Well, it's
Got him. Ha! Got him. These nuts.
you calm down, sir.
Yes.
Tell me how to be.
I was like, last night I got this like random friend request from like somebody in like Vermont or some bullshit.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And you know when you can kind of tell it's like a fake one? Because like I was like, whatever. I'll just hit it and see like.
When you
what
go in and they have like two friends.
Right, and it was weird. It wasn't like a girl, which is like usually like those ones are all
Right.
like girl ones, or like they're all like some random girl or whatever. And you know they may have like, the same pictures, but those like they have like 5 posts and they're done. Well, this one was like of a dude, like, and I think that his account just got hacked. And it was all "Hello, sir," and I was all, "Oh, it's definitely fake."
Oh, talks like that.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Especially not when you don't know them. Like I'll say it like, you know, what's up, like,
Professionally,
Yeah.
like, yeah, but not just someone you may not
Yeah.
even fucking know. Hello, sir. Would you like to be friends?
right. It was just kind of random, and I was like, okay, well, you know. So either we're getting really famous by random people, or
I
Honestly,
hope
from
so.
like maybe like what, Iceland or whatever. The
You
fuck
should
that
tag.
was.
You should post a TikTok and tag my TikTok. I fucking exploded on TikTok.
yeah. My
Yeah.
TikTok has not really exploded.
Check this
so.
out. I
We don't have boobs.
I made one post. I made one post.
I am having trouble blowing up my small
And
business.
my
So
analytics says
Are you verified already?
171,000 plays, 19.4 likes, 1,828 comments.
I don't have
533 shares.
I don't have that many views total.
Yeah.
this is on your
Dude, no fucking shit.
Dope.
She has 2 videos. Her first one got 5,000 plays. Her second one has 171,000 plays. Yeah, some boobs.
I mean,
You can't even see them really. You can't even see them really in either of those videos.
It's all imagination.
business. So if this is on your For You page, please interact with it.
yeah, I saw it. I mean, fuck
I saw
yeah.
this one too.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
like.
you don't
Did
think
the other one.
you don't think being
Show you then show what you created.
That one's the cooler video.
I kind of wish that song didn't pop off on fucking TikTok because
I
it's a
know.
dope ass song.
It is a dope ass song.
so the difference is in this video you spend a lot of time on your hands and knees with your butt facing the camera. Nowadays all you gotta do is pop this little buddy into fucking Snapchat or stitch it or duet it, slow it down to half speed, and you just get to stare at butt for a little bit. So you played yourself.
Damn. All right. Well, it worked.
I mean, honestly,
I would do it.
yeah. If it worked for me, you know where
Here's
I'd
my
be.
tits.
Yeah.
Make me money.
TikTok's a weird place because again, like the one that like really popped off for me was that one where I shot that dude with the sniper rifle in the game, and the one
That's
like the one
super
shot.
specific.
You remember? If I showed you the video,
I
you
probably
remember. But like at the end of it, I was like, "Oh, I'm getting reported," and that like blew the fuck up. But even then, like I don't have nowhere near that from 2 TikToks, and they have.
My best one was the one where you ate, like when we were going for that scav.
Oh yeah.
This one's got less than your worst post. And that only got like 4,500 plays.
Yeah. there is it's one of those things like I've talked about like with like a few people like on like Twitch or like streaming, those kind of things, like even with gaming. Like women have it much easier in the beginning, and then it gets way harder later on. So like with your TikToks and stuff like that, like you can start off like really like it can pop off like crazy just from not what you think is just a normal situation.
Right.
I like it. Like they were good videos overall. You followed the TikTok like mentality there.
Yeah.
But the problem is like retaining those people is like seems to be much more difficult for women than it is for men. Because once you have like the following build up and you've done the work, it's harder like for women to keep up because people are so.
They just find new boobs.
Well, and people are generally shittier.
I
Like
think I have enough niche
right. I think that.
that my boobs will stick.
Plus, you do cool, like you make cool shit. So like that helps a lot of the scenario. Whereas a lot of like these creators will pop off, but they're like, they don't have any. They're not doing cool shit. They're not like creating neat stuff where people want to continue like paying attention to them. So you get that initial like fuck yeah, and then it's like, well, guess you're just either always showing ass and titties, or you're actually gonna do something fucking dope.
Right.
And that's where like the hard like comes apart the scenario. Whereas like for men, it's like we have like a lot to like build up, but once we've built that scenario, that's a little easier to keep.
True. Yeah, them single dads on TikTok. Have you seen
That's
them
pretty funny.
assholes?
Yeah.
There's some people on TikTok that are huge, and I'm like, what in the fuck?
Oh my gosh,
How?
I know. There's like some crazy rednecks that I see on my For You page that are just like out of control.
There's that one
People
that
following.
light skinned black dude that says ridiculous ass bullshit. He's like, I never seen two pretty best friends. You've seen that,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how is anybody paying attention to this fucking dude?
Yeah, and why?
Right? Yeah.
And why?
Where does this come from?
Interesting situation.
But and also one of the things too, you may just hit the right person that will, when they liked it, they have enough of a following that or they interacted, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Then it'll pile onto all of their For You pages, and that's one of those things. Sometimes it's just hitting that right note, and then it'll pop off.
Yep. Mira
So-
posted that Mira created that second video. And she told me when to post it. And I feel like,
Right.
any sort of marketing, anything, your timing is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it.
It's huge. I mean, again, and you followed the TikTok situations on both of them, and did a thing, and that was where it was that worked out. Whereas with this and when we're playing games, we're not really trying to hit the TikTok scenario. I want it to be me, and then build the situation up.
Right.
And that's why for this, I have it it's going to be 2-3 years before I even pretend it should go anywhere.
Fair.
Because it's not one of those things where I'm I'm following everybody else, I'm creating the TikToks. I'm not trying to do that situation. I'm not going to be sitting here fucking lip syncing and dancing bullshit. I'm not doing
Come
it.
on, but you should. And those fucking leggings that we get needs to bring you back.
If I wore those, we might pop off a little bit more.
You probably should.
There's a little some stuff going on that you can see. So. It's...
Pretty sure he's talking about a penis.
I know he has one.
Right. I remember the first time I wore them on that Halloween party.
That was a really good clap. Jesus
A
Christ.
friend of mine was she was you gotta see it. I was like, I know. And she's like, do you care? I was like, just look, it's fine. It's okay. She's kind of a hornball anyway, so I was
Why
like,
people dress like that? First of all,
they're actually pretty comfortable, which is surprising.
Oh, mercy.
Because I never wore them for years because I was like, no, fuck, I was like, that's bullshit. That's they can't be comfortable. They're super skin tight.
super comfortable.
No, they're way comfortable. I was
around 5K and some, and only them. We did our glow foam 5K. That was funny because I showed up in this whole outfit, and then before the race even started, I was just wearing shoes, a tutu, and my white leggings with no underwear on. And then Bailey fucking squirted my crotch with glow juice. So it looked like I peed myself, but also it was white, and now it's wet. So there's a penis. That was a fun fucking 5K, dude.
That was a fun time. We had so many people there though too.
The after party.
We had 3 cars full of people.
Yeah, there was so many people there in the after party. Fuck, it was so much fun. I still remember Kate getting blasted in the face with the foam cannon, where she had the glow juice behind her contact. That was a sick picture.
It just sounds so wrong when you say glow juice. Yeah.
Bioluminescent semen, is that better?
That's what I think of when you say glow juice.
Crazy fucking genetic happenings. Man in Oklahoma has bioluminescent cum.
That would be weird.
Crazy.
That'd be really weird. Would you try to get rid of it if you had it? Yeah, I don't think I would try to get rid of that, to be honest. It'd be just something
No,
and
picture
you don't
worst
warn
case
anybody, you're just you're like, what the
but
fuck?
you freak out at the same time, but you know. Oh, what the fuck? No, but picture, you're in a life or death situation, you need light, I got you, bro. Light. It's gonna save your life, you know what I'm saying?
You're just making cum torches.
Second product on the cream saver line. Cum torches.
Cum torches.
Spooge candles. Dude, that's the thing.
Very nice.
You have some new candles. Which set would you want? Spooge or underbutton?
Protein.
I don't think prune tank sounds too nice. I'm not gonna lie. I follow.
I would would definitely rather get like at least. I would get.
Grapefruit tang?
I would get.
I mean, there's
I would get-
orange stuff.
Pineapple tang.
No, I would get.
It's like going back to like The Rock, where he was like Poontang Pie or whatever the
I would
fuck it
get
was.
2 underbutton candles before I get 1 prune tang. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Poontang sounds disgusting.
Prune tang. Well, I mean,
Prunes are kind of gross anyways, though.
spooge isn't great. Neither is
Do you like
underbutton.
prunes?
I thought we were just.
No, like
I
this.
never win. Prune tang. Did Nikki show you the page?
I haven't shown her yet.
Oh, okay.
What?
A
A
tool.
tool?
Tool.
A tool page?
Tool page.
Yeah, there was some point I did some research, so you can take that whole entire book, but I pulled up like the best version of what we talked about for what I think we were
Heck yeah.
talking about. Yeah, not
Thank
that
you.
bad.
Well, my
Incredibly expensive, very safe compared to what you were talking about using,
cool.
and way more versatile
What I need.
for what you do. I think it's exactly what you need.
Well, okay, so then my TikTok just exploded and I've got orders going on all over the freaking place.
It's been the best tool I've ordered in a long time. Like, I cut a 45 bevel on a 4x8 sheet of 1/4 inch, and it came in like pretty close. You would never do that with a saw. Like, you would do too much of this. They're
Yeah.
cool, and they're way safer. So,
Cool.
yeah.
How much is it?
Mine was like 1100
Okay.
with the other things I bought, like a second track.
Mm-hmm.
But Festival's like known for being like outrageously expensive,
Okay.
high-end stuff. Craig's like a really good brand. They're like, they patented the like pocket screw,
Mm-hmm.
the hidden screw where you plug a plug in and sand
Yeah,
it and it
I have one.
disappears.
Mm-hmm.
And I think theirs was what, 400 for the whole package, Nick?
I didn't really look at the price. I
I
just
think
know
it's
where
like
it's
300 or 400, and then you will need to buy a second add-on and make sure they can. Mine you can just keep adding on.
Okay.
But as long as you can put a second like track on it, you'll be able to do like 8-foot sheets in one cut.
Sick.
Because that's I bought it for
Do
cutting.
they have one
doors.
at Woodcraft?
Most they definitely carry their full line, whether they have that exact thing. I mean, they're gonna flag it. Who flagged it?
It should be the second one, yeah.
It's flagged. That's what I think you want. That's the full set, yeah. So 400.
Yes.
But that's a saw and everything. I think they make one that you can use any scale saw, but
No, I probably just do
that's
that.
not a bad price for a saw and a track.
Fucking, that, yeah. If they have it, I'm gonna go get it tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm fucking busy.
and they're cool, so you can set depths.
Yes.
So they're made so
perfect.
that you don't have to even go through the sheet. So if you just want to do like a
A
line or
square?
something,
Yeah.
they're made like the one I brought. It's made for like making cabinets in a house instead of ordering them and installing them.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
that accurate.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Oh.
Take the whole book.
Take a look.
Take the whole book. It's great toilet.
You can also just take that.
I
page.
don't.
just
I
got
need
all
to
your
sanitize this now.
It's too late.
Probably not that one, but
Thank God. Holy shit. Literally.
Just
Thanks.
be careful. I think pages 234 and
Those get
235
a
are
little
stuck
sticky.
together.
if that's the joiner page. No.
I'm going to see if my joke is accurate. Oh my god, those pages would stick together. Look at that. I didn't even see if there was anything spooge worthy on that page. What did I say? 234?
Yep.
The like, so they make the military tools.
Let's see what's on two.
Some tools,
Ooh,
like
we're looking at some
what industrial lathe
Now,
for
okay.
like rockets are like $28,000, and it's like, whoa.
Now, another thing that I'm looking to buy is a laser engraver. ASAP.
So I have like
And
a CNC
I'm curious-
router, a laser engraver. I have not looked into.
Okay.
So I can tell you the brands to go after and the ones to stay away from.
Because I want to get one that's big enough to fit a whole sheet. My whole 2-foot by 4-foot sheet.
It's going to be expensive.
So I think you need to find out what you actually want to do on the sheet because
I want to
a
be
2
able to
by 4
program
is
something and
2 by
then
4 is huge. I think my CNC would
Would I be
18
able to break it down in sections? Could I do something and like cut it so that it like does it in sections?
So my experience on my CNC is it's all about how well you learn the program. So I never used mine much because my buddy who's like an architect, he was able to figure out the programming stuff. I was just like
Yeah.
stupid as. But, no, they're definitely, I mean, that's my biggest argument on some of the videos. Like, we just took it to our CNC and then leveled it out and thank God we had that. He doesn't go to another shop has it.
Right.
No shops have that almost unless that's like a full-time, which you do. Laser's different because that's burning it. You're not actually like, you're not cutting them. It's not. But yeah, I could. That book has everything and anything, so you could contact somebody through there. But laser engraving is probably more like on the arts and crafts side and not as much. But I'm not saying that. Like you can learn how to turn pens out of that. Check out Sears Strassel too. They're closer, just as good of.
What?
Sears Strassel. It's off Riverside. They're every bit as good as Woodcraft. A little more local, probably been around a lot longer. I like both stores, both of them are incredibly expensive.
Type it.
Sears Strassel. Yeah, that's it. I did it. Yeah, I spelled it right this time too.
Did you?
You haven't told him my handicap's up. It's pretty good with wood. He has 10 fingers. He can't spell that.
None of them can hold a pencil. Not a big speller.
No, they can't. But all I do is my mark. X, Y. Put it on this side, Y. I don't know. We have this. When we get a chance, my tech retarded ass can't figure it out. I'll come with you.
Your Gmail? Okay.
What?
I signed it up and it says your cookies are off. Put them in and it just kicks me into the loop. And then I follow it and it kicks me into the loop and then I got flustered.
Okay.
I didn't throw anything and put it down.
Thank you for
Yeah,
clarifying.
when I had to leave last night, like for a minute, was to like help him with his phone.
Gotcha.
Yep.
We haven't even gone. I didn't actually start opening it on my apps. That's just because I emailed you the thing, and I was like, "But no, you gotta open your Gmail." And I was like, "It won't let me." Click, click, click. And I was in the field, so it's like so slow. I'm like, I'm not refreshing this again. I'm going to work, dude. I already get enough distractions and phone calls that it's like, if you want something done, like I gotta put the phone down and pick the hammer up.
Mm-hmm. You third?
I get there. I understand.
And putting tires on the thing, so if you got the scanner, if not, I'll just stop by.
Let's
Well,
like
Take this down.
You know how you can do that without.
I just asked my roommate. He's good.
Yeah, we don't even need a tool to do that, to set those tires on that truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't get much work done if there's a phone in your hand.
But yeah, that'd be the only thing. I got brand new tires on. I mean,
Dope.
fucking mad that I took them as long as they did because I overworked them. But they're on their second season, so they're gonna start showing wear. It was 60, 71 when I took them off today. I was like, it's getting way too hot. Why the fuck do I have winter tires on? But it's not that late even. Just
Well, I mean, we've had a really warm winter overall. Like, yeah, a couple weeks ago, obviously it was cold as shit. But overall, this winter has been
Outside of that, it's
pretty
been pretty mild.
mild as it's been.
global
So,
warming would probably do a lot of that. I'm thinking.
I mean, the thing is, like 60, 70 is not too bad on winter tires. It's when you get to like
80.
80, 90, 100.
Start
Like,
getting real soft.
yeah, that's when tires, like winter tires, really start. Evan just drove on the fucking. He had studs
Well, I've seen guys.
for like he just left them on the fucking truck for fucking like 7 years and they were okay the whole time. I was like, what the? It was super fun to go do donuts in the summertime. It was a 2-wheel drive like '94 F-150, so you just go do donuts in it and it would just, just
Yeah.
tons of noise and just no smoke because the tires were just fucking like gooey.
Yeah.
And I haven't moved anything other than the one trailer. I just feel like, pay for people, so there's no point.
Right.
It's like a 70-30 mix anyways. You use them so much less, but
But having fucking snows on a pickup are amazing. It's like the best. Have you ever driven a truck with snows on it?
I've never had
Oh
tires.
my god, it's
When you get those good snows, like on the walker, I can just power through things, and people you see them like just you can just start.
it's almost like driving like regular in the snow and
I
ice.
never have a problem. Like,
No, like no slip, no like you don't do shit.
You feel that catch again when you take a corner. It's like you feel it. Do it. Oh, and I
Yeah,
can power it.
no, it's you drive like a car that has like normal like sports car stuff, and then put snows on it during snow time. It's amazing. I love snow
I guess
tires.
I've always had like good all terrains on mine, which aren't the same as snows. I get that.
Yeah,
Like the ones on my 4Runner right now are fucking. What's that really nice brand? Procomp. We got some. I got them because they were doing.
I don't like Coopers anymore.
You don't? Because I've had good luck with these Coopers.
My dad had them on the.
The only Coopers I ever really liked were the Discovers. The
Discoveries.
AT3s. Those are pretty good tires.
I don't like ATs. I think ATs are dumb.
Why?
Because they have the most tiny usage case over HTs or MTs. So MTs obviously have a usage case, and HTs are way better on ice than ATs will ever be. Period. I fucking hate ATs.
I've always had ATs. I've never had a problem driving, but I'm also not an idiot, so that might help
Right,
a
it
bit.
does help, but the amount of tires that I've had, like that I've driven on, like all that
Also,
kind
a
of
lot
stuff.
of most of my cars, except for the Ion and the Firebird, have all been 4-wheel drive.
Right. Well, and that helps too, but I will never put a set of ATs on anything ever.
I want to say I went to BF Goodrich this time for my summer tires, and I've always been Michelin, but they're like.
Well,
man,
BFGs
they're
and
harder.
Michelins are the same.
See, this guy was like, these are a lot harder than these sets, but they're gonna.
They have the same tire compounds and the same everything because it's the same brand.
And I'll have to double check with there. But he's like, these definitely are like what we're throwing on the style trucks, and they tend to like get.
Yeah. So yeah, BFG and Michelin are the same brand. Like they're the same. Michelin is a parent company,
Yeah.
and they have
Chevy GMC.
all of the same tire compounds all the way through. So
I don't know. I just. Those with the cooking.
yeah, like the GT Sport Cups on the BFGs are the same as the Super Sport 2s. Same compound exactly for car stuff. And then like yeah, I don't mind BFGs and Michelins. They're not bad tires by any means. I find that they're too hard. They last forever.
I always felt like my Michelins were soft.
You also drive like a grandma.
So that should make your tires last longer. not
Yes.
shorter. I feel like my Michelins were always softer and didn't last as long. Because I definitely think my Goodyears that I had on the truck when I bought it held up pretty good. These new ones just are way more aggressive. And I was like, I don't really care about that. And he's like, this is just like what we're throwing on a lot of construction trucks. But
Well,
is
it's because
also a
people are
lot of
trying to
turds.
have that. They're trying to have that tough guy
There's
look.
A lot of turds. A lot of turds.
So,
I was like, I'm not a turd. I don't care.
Right,
I
and
get the
that's
turd
where
back.
ATs typically. That's why people buy ATs is because of that toughness like scenario. But I always find that they make like more noise. They get worse mileage. They last roughly the same as HTs. Those kind of things, while being worse on ice.
Mine is definitely like a bunch of my decisions based. They look nice. They look like they're really nice tires. The way they look.
Right.
Like, they're not aggressive, but they look nice.
These look
Yeah.
good. I drive so little highway. I was like, as far as rideability, I barely break 65, so it's not. That's where I feel like the rideability comes in at the higher speeds more.
Well, it definitely does. So like it's just one of those like things that I've noticed like because I've driven like I lost count of like 1.5 million miles of total miles that I've done. Like I just
From your dad's house is like 10 days on the. From your dad's house into town would be like driving to my office all week long.
right. So yeah, it's like I've done a lot of miles, and that's why like my tires because we were putting fucking 100K on pickups in town within like 5 or 6 years. So it was one of those things like I've driven a shit ton.
On the weekend, you go to fucking snowy range.
Right, and so like and snowmobiling, those are where I've definitely noticed a difference. Like where my dad would get stuck with his ATs, and I'd be like, "See you later" with my HTs. And like, 'cause I've never liked them. He started putting HTs on his pickups because like he learned that there's no point of putting ATs, even where he lives with the mud and everything. Because once you're in mud, you want MTs because it's like this like it's only when it's like slightly slimy is where ATs work better than like HTs. Is where it's
Very
like
small window.
yeah, so that's why like I'll never put ATs on anything because they're so much worse on ice. Like amazingly worse on ice.
That's what I remember was that birthday we went on where it was you, me, and Teddy, and like coming out of the house, it's like, John, you better get it. It was just that puddle. We had all that fucking snowmobiles, and it was just like, boom, boom, and it would just like disappear. The thing hit when it starts hitting the windows. When you go through mud, and you're like, whoa, okay, and then you do this for a minute, and you can't see shit until you like get enough on there. It's like, oh, okay, we're still on the road. That's fucking cool.
I mean, there's been days with snowmobiling. Like, there was one day where when I still had my F-150, and that was not a off-road vehicle at all. It was an all-wheel drive, 22-inch wheels. Like it was not an off-road vehicle. But it was great to tow sleds with. Once I got rid of the Pirellis, because fuck Pirellis. I hate Pirelli tires in general. If you like Pirellis, that's your thing, but not for me. I put some. I ever see like Nexon brand?
It's more like a status thing with Pirellis.
Right.
I mean, like,
yeah, 50 Cent rapped about a minute on. You gotta get there.
Yeah, I gotta make a bowl. But I took the Pirellis that came on that truck off of there, and I just thought like it just like was garbage traction or whatever. That's always just because it was a pickup with 22s or whatever. And I put some Nexon brand ones on there, and at the time they were kind of like just coming into the U.S. market. They've been in like Southeast Asia for a long time, and they were cheap. They were like $120 a tire, but they were like, and the Pirellis were like $350 a tire. It's got fucking 22-inch wheels. Like they're gonna be expensive, is what I thought. Those tires were so much better, but like one time we went sledding and got the sled trailer on, 4 sleds on it, and on the county road they had closed I-25 and I-80, so we had to go up 287, which is the preferred way in my opinion, anyways. But to get there, we took the through El Canyon, and there was like drifts like 10 feet tall, and me and John were like, well. Just we're launching this fucking 06 pickup like through these drifts because otherwise I'm glad I didn't have the Pirellis in there because the year before I got stuck in the parking lot of the snowmobile because it was just spinning. I was like, this is bullshit, and I was like, well, hopefully these tires work out and way better. Like I'm particular on tires like these days. Like the Falcons I have in my truck right now are fucking solid. The Wild Peak HTs. Those ones have been solid. Like I like Yokohamas and Toyos. Those are the three.
Toyos are really nice.
Toyos.
They're fucking expensive, but also some with those brands
tire.
too. Like with Falcon, Yokohama, and Toyos, they actually support like the industry, like the aftermarket, like drifting and all like the car culture. They support car culture so much. And when I was working at the dealership that I trained, and like Yokohama brought us out for their training to like go autocross a fucking RX-8. It was fucking dope. It's like so like we're in the parking lot at the Denver Broncos Stadium, autocrossing on a bunch of RX-8s with a bunch of different tires on them to see like how they worked. It was fucking rad. So it's and those like training moments, like when I went to those, like all the ones for like Continentals were okay, like their training stuff, but like Goodyear, Dunlop, like, because they're the same brand. Like their training was like, Michelin, BFG, they didn't give a fuck because they have that name. So people like they'll just buy them anyways. And much like BFG, they just buy them. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They don't actually care about the thing. Whereas like, I want brands that like actually care about the industry and that I know perform the way they are. And Toyos are my top dog. Yokohamas are next, and then Falcons third.
I like Toyos.
Yes. They are a solid unit for sure. Now, will you spend $1,000 on any set of tires? Yes. Gotta pay for 10 blocks tires,
Yeah, they're only fair.
Only fair. Yeah, I mean they support the industry so much that it's like that's one of those things they have to fucking support. Like people supporting the industries that they're in.
What am I doing? Billing.
Cool.
Cool.
That's boyfriend.
Not my boyfriend,
Oh, okay.
but maybe might end up being a boyfriend. I don't know. But he's decorating Easter eggs with his daughter.
Cool.
Hanging out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my mom was like, "You guys want to go to an Easter egg Easter egg hunt this year and take Dorothy?" I was like, "We're doing one like at our house,
Yeah.
so she can learn what the fucking Easter egg hunt is."
Right.
She's only 2.
We did an Easter egg hunt yesterday with my students, and one of my kiddos went around and cracked open the eggs, took the candy out, and left the cracked egg. Like all over the fucking yard.
That's
And then she
hilarious.
came up to me later and she's like, yeah, I stole all the candy from the eggs. I stole it. Did you? She's like, yeah. Takes
That
off.
would have been even funnier if, like, cracking them open, taking the candy, putting them back together, and putting them back where they found them.
She didn't like end up like putting it back together. Some of them she did, but she like put it right back. She, like
So
cracked
funny,
it open
yeah.
in her basket and put it back. I stole the candy.
Left the eggs just to fuck with the other kids. Sorry.
It's not really a bad idea.
No, it's not.
But the fact that
Dude.
she's 3 years old, not even 4, and that's what she did.
Teenage Easter egg hunts were some of the most, like, the funnest 60 seconds for a while.
I know.
It's like when you get to the point where, like, you get, like, that 16 to 18-year-old Easter egg
Yes.
thing, but the eggs are full of, like, possibly cash. And,
Cash. Yep.
because I remember they did one at, they always had it at the Loveland High, like, Crow Park, kind of around there. Not Crow Park, Jesus Christ. The North Lake Park, and kind of around those.
Loveland Park too, so.
Yeah. But it's just a bunch of like angsty teenagers just lined up. They say go, and like nothing's hidden. It's a fucking baseball field, and there's just eggs everywhere.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And it's just like people pretty much like trying to run with their basket on the ground and just scooping shit up. Like people just taking off to get halfway through. They're, like nuts for a bunch of 18-year-olds trying to get plastic eggs. But there's cash in them.
Cash. Yep. My family. So we grew up on like 2 acres, and we would decorate all the Easter eggs and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure my parents were stoned the whole time, and I'm glad. Because it was so much fun. But they would get up early and they'd go scatter all the eggs. And my brothers, there's like 4 or 5 years between my brother, me, and my sister. So between me and my brother, it's like 4, almost 5 years. Between me and my sister, 4, almost 5 years. So there's quite a gap. And my parents were really good at hiding eggs. They made it a frickin' game. And we had some pretty fat cash eggs. It was fucking fun. And so my brother, being the big kid and being the older brother, like, he would totally dominate, like, just getting all the fucking eggs and be a total dick about it, too. Like, totally, like, shove my sister to the wayside. She's just like a kid, like, diaper running around. But then they would also put some very strategic for me to go find. And I'd, like, climb up on top of the garage and into the gutters and all that stuff, find all these fucking eggs that were just money.
The gutters was the spot.
Gutters is a spot, man. Gutters is a spot.
They're like, why is that ladder there?
Yeah.
It's pretty much exactly what that is. We were like, cool.
Oh, man.
We did Easter egg hunting like late in teenagers because I have a lot of younger cousins.
Yo.
What's up, Miller Tom?
How's it going?
A lot of you. So we like reluctantly do it, and they never put money in our fucking shit ever. I was like, we would have been much more willing to do these things if you did things for like 13, 14-year-olds versus like only for the 4-year-olds when there's 3 of them.
Miss you.
How's them turbos?
Can you close that menu?
Is it bothering you?
Yeah, a little bit. Thank you.
It doesn't change anything.
No. But it doesn't make me mad.
It's like when you're watching a video with the fucking with your cursor like right in the middle of it.
Fuck that.
No, I have that problem too. Like with so I hide my taskbar on my shit, and like I'll have like something I can't figure out why it's popped up, and I'll just restart the computer. I don't give a fuck. Like I'll just stop all work to get it to
I
go
tried
down.
to hide my taskbar for a while, dude, but I don't have the patience to wait the second that it takes to like come up. You know what I'm saying? We have to kind of go down and hover for a second, and then it pops back up.
Oh, so I don't do that. Just hit your fucking Windows key. Because you're going to start menu anyways, typically, right?
Depends.
Yeah, so just either way, hit Windows key, hit it again, fucking click your shit.
My most used button on my taskbar is my file folder.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I use mine all the time, but I also work from my computer too. So.
Actually, I do use that quite a bit. Actually, to access like videos and stuff.
Yeah, I mine is so like everything's indexed like crazy, so I just type random shit. Like, if I need to bring up my like site crawler for work, it's just Windows key SEO. First thing up is SEO enter. I don't even look at it. This is done.
Yeah.
Brings what I needed to bring up. Anyone that complains about their like taskbar not working is with the search thing isn't doing it right. I've never had a problem.
I don't have a problem.
Apparently it's an issue, but I don't see it.
Maybe for the blind.
Right, or the uninitiated. I'm like it's like people that can't drive, like people that use their computer every day, that like don't know how to like work it, is irritating me. Mm-hmm. And that's like the same like this fucking dude with his phone. The amount of times we've had to like log into his shit is because he can't fucking like figure. I'm like, you use it every day, bro. And I know he's the norm. He's not like where I'm at, where like he's the normal situation where I'm like,
It's like you drove this car for 4 years and you just found out it had heated seats.
Right.
What the fuck?
I like when you got me on with your name, you like made the joke like the heated seat, and I was like, it's right there, and you're like, what?
Let's do it.
That fucking Envoy was like $44,000 brand new in 2003. It was expensive in 2003.
That's quite a bit.
Because like that was like fully loaded trucks, like 1 tons were that price.
Not anymore. More than double.
Yeah, it's double that situation. Truck pricing is outrageous, but they're also a lot nicer than they were 15 years ago too.
That you always thought like you get a car that had like nice features and shit, or you can get a truck and get work done.
Right.
Now you can get a truck that heats your fucking butt, keeps your coffee warm while you're towing shit.
Right. Yeah, like trucks are crazy expensive. Like
they're nice.
I've looked, and that's half the reason why I fixed my shit. Cause like I can afford a nice car if I wanted to, but that fucking $800 a month payment sounds pretty rough to me.
Yeah, we're saving up for a house. Do that in the next few years.
Well, I mean that's a goal for like me too. You know, so I don't have to live with Cracky McCracker sitting right here.
You don't have to move it.
He won't sell anything, please.
Just recommend it.
Give me like rent to own. It's fine. I'll pay the payment.
There you go.
But I mean, my biggest problem right now is I make almost enough to buy a house in this area, but like
That's tough.
not quite where it's like
Yep.
like I'm at like I could buy a house, you know, kind of like this. It would just be, it's like, because they want, you know, for loans you want to be like, they want to give you like between like 30 and 35% of your income is where you, like maximum is where they are.
Right.
And for me, like a house right here, it'd be like 42 or 43%, somewhere in that range. So like, I'm like this close to being able to like to buy one roughly like this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, it's neat, it's huge.
Yeah, we finally just paid off most of our debt. No, they haven't paid off the Snap-on.
Well,
Literally right when I was
And
getting
medical
ready
debt.
to leave for Texas, I'm like walking out the door and some dude rolls up on my property. I don't know this guy. I don't know anybody. So I'm like, motherfucker. Like my day. He goes stomping out there. He's like, are you Sarah? And I'm like, who the fuck is asking? I got served.
shit.
And so then I was like, shit. And then so then I called them right away because it wasn't quite 5 o'clock yet. So I called them and I'm like, dude, why'd you serve me, man? Like, if you would have called, I would have paid you. Like, here's my card.
Right.
Let me pay
I hate
you.
that shit.
I was so dumb. It was so dumb. And he's like, oh, I wasn't expecting this kind of response. I was like, well, you know what? Your dude rolling up on me today, I probably scared the fuck out of him. But I'm really glad I can just hand you my card and you never have to hear from me again.
Yeah, those kind of like people that like those debt situations are like I've almost my student
That was
loans.
for my surgery. That was
Oh.
that was a medical debt. Like
Yeah,
I got fucked on that.
Same.
Yeah,
Been there.
Just got back under. We just got under 10 grand left, and it's mostly Snap-on, a little bit of medical. That's it.
Medical stuff's like hard, because you had your fucking kid and shit too, and that's expensive as it rolls.
Well, I mean, as long as it's preventative, it's covered.
Right.
So.
So yeah, I mean, because I had to go through that bankruptcy with my broken leg situation because my mom's super cool and didn't tell me when the insurance is broken. Yeah, my student loans are. I'm like, this year, both of them are done. That's
Good for you.
Yeah, $65,000 later, and that was expensive back then. I should have went to a state school instead.
I went to Ames, dude. 4 years was like 16 grand.
Right. Well, and I went there for a couple semesters. I went to Ames in Greeley.
But that was like where I had to go for automotive. It's either that or a trade school.
Right. You're going to fucking
biotech, $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's a 1 year
Especially
program,
when it comes from like automotive. Like most kids that come out of automotive school are
dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to be nice about that, but they're idiots.
No, they're dumb.
And
I did it just to get the piece of paper, but it wasn't until like maybe the last part of when they started getting more advanced like stuff, I started learning things like basic repair and maintenance, and like I've been doing this for years.
Right.
But the piece of paper was important to people.
Which is surprising in that field because none of them have a piece of paper either.
The only piece of paper I really need to have, like, it helps that I have AHP, but like the main thing they were worried about was like, do you have your HVAC cert, which I had to get. Because now they got the new 609, which also covers
right. Well, and that's something that a lot of techs don't understand at all in general. Mm-hmm. So, and the thing is, I fucking hate I'm good at it, but I fucking hate it's dumb. HVAC shit is garbage.
Why?
AC stuff, like in older vehicles, like when they you start cooling on, they're all plugged up and shit, and you're trying to figure out what exactly is plugged up and all those things where it's sometimes it just be a pain in the ass for no reason.
I never had too much of a problem with
Yeah, I've had a few that are that just I replaced everything and it's still didn't fucking want to work the right way just because of the way that the orifices were faced or some bullshit.
Yeah.
And
orifice tubes, I think, are fucking garbage. They had their purpose, I think, at one point, but the expansion valves are much better.
Well,
reliability wise.
Right, definitely reliability wise, especially when it comes to a used system, because they don't get plugged as easy.
Yeah.
So when you have a system that's something that blew up on, like the pump blows up on it, you're cool, it never gets clean. And orifice tubes are a giant pain in the ass at that point because you're unless you replace all the lines and everything, and for something that's mid 90s, finding all the lines and stuff for those things are impossible. So you're cool, I'm just going to be cleaning this for the next 6 to 10 months. Every 2 months you're going to come in saying it doesn't work, and I have to just clean it all out again. Just trying to get all that fucking metal shavings out of it.
Yeah.
Especially in Suburbans.
Yeah.
Where they have an orifice tube and an expansion valve. They're oh yeah, the rear works great. The front's garbage. You're
It's funny how complicated they made the 1, 2, 3, 4 machines.
Yeah.
They do a lot of self-checking.
Well, it's because it's flammable. Mm-hmm. That shit it's nasty flammable too. I don't know if you've lit it up.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've done it personally, but yeah, it's aggressive. But
I don't know how.
I've always liked HVAC because it pays pretty well for not a lot of work.
So that's why I when I was working on cars, hybrids were the bomb. Because you just charge unreal money, and it's just the same shit.
I charge an hour to disengage an electric vehicle.
What?
So we can charge an hour for it.
That's absurd money, but I mean...
And all I had to do was open the center console, pop the container out, it was on a volt.
Yeah, and then you just...
container out, put my glove on, pull the giant fuse block.
It's easy.
And done. Let me know when you guys are ready.
People are so afraid of it, too.
And I think... Actually, now that I think about it, they must have plugged that back in themselves. Because it's been a while.
No, I loved working on Priuses. Oh, so gravy to work on, and you could charge diesel money for those. It's awesome. I have.
hybrids because
They're not different,
Just don't touch orange things.
and if you have to, unplug it.
Right.
And the fuse on the Priuses are gravy. You just like click the thing and pull them out, and you're done.
The only thing I made sure is I did make sure that somebody got me a set of gloves because I'm not fucking with that shit. In case something happens, I'm not getting fucked.
Well, the thing is, like normal fucking mechanics gloves work just fine for that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Have you ever worked on like house wiring?
I've gotten bit by house wiring.
Yeah, if you're wearing like rubber gloves, it doesn't do shit.
Never did.
But yeah, no, I love work like
110's not bad. It's just a little. It's more.
240 hurts.
Fuck yeah, it does.
240 hurts bad.
110's just more like surprising than painful. 220, 240, that bites a bit. Then I remember when I was working down at one of the Loveland shops and the landlord, we would like, the owner of the shop I was working at, the landlord would always like barter for shit. Like, hey, I'll fix this in our building because it needs fixing if you pay next month's rent or whatever. And he would always come to us too. It got to be such a common thing. He'd come to us like, with offers like, hey, I need this done. You guys want to do it? I'll take this off your rent. And one, he came over to me because I was usually the one that got stuck doing the work, whatever it was, and like cleaning gutters, fixing like just slapping tar on the roof, like doing whatever. And so he sees me. He's like, "Hey man, it's like we got another thing I need done in the building. I'll take a look really quick." I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. What is it?" We walk out into the hallway. It's like, "You hear that? We need to fix that." Like, there was something wrong with the 440 breaker.
No, thank you.
I am not touching that motherfucker. You could
Not 440 AC. 440 and 480.
I've been hit by 110 and 220. 220. That's
Gonna ride the lightning, bro. That was a joke on like.
dude. 440. I don't know if you can let go.
You don't.
Like 220, you can like at least let go. Depending on where you're getting shocked, it can be difficult. 440.
Yeah,
Somebody better be next to you with like a fucking bat or something. They can just kind of fucking hit you off of it.
Yeah, 440, 480 scenario is not something to fuck with, and that's why like a lot of people are afraid of like hybrids or electric cars, stuff like that, because they're up in that voltage range. Mm-hmm. But you're rocking DC too, so it's different.
It's different.
And versus like AC.
Still suck. But
You really don't even get fucking zapped by it, to be honest. We've been hit by fucking 50K.
Yeah, secondary
Yeah.
ignition. Right under the fingernail, dude. I still remember that at Ames. We were sitting there and they were teaching us about ignition systems and whatever, and I didn't realize they had all the coils out and whatever. I didn't realize that the coil's out but still plugged in.
Oh.
And the coil was hiding under the fucking fender cover. And my fingers were just curled around the edge of it. And they went to turn that fucker over and just whack. And I fucking flinched so hard that I smacked the inside of the hood with like my hand. Dude, that fucking hurt.
Yeah.
And it felt like it went like right under my fucking nail.
Yeah. So 50 to 80K like voltage scenarios are fucking nasty.
It's a good little bite, man.
I remember like one time I went and like looked at this like Camaro for somebody that like we knew, and he's like, look, it runs fucking kind of weird. It's like I reach back and I see the distributor is like loose, and I was like, well, it's probably just like I just see it kind of like wiggling. I see it like wiggling, and I reach back there like to tweak it, and I was all, well, first of all, it needs fucking spark plug wires because like it's an HEI.
That shouldn't happen.
Definitely should not. It's always like that. When you want to wake up in the morning, 80,000 volts fucking does it. Like
I remember there was one that it was an old carbureted distributor, the whole nine, older car, and it had like a really bad running problem. Like under load, it just fucking missed like crazy. But like the wires were fine, like they looked fine. But that's when I figured out like about the water trick. Spray them down with water.
and it's all
Dude, I sprayed down the distributor and they're all fucking arcing to each other. It's like, that's a problem.
They got all the carbon traces in them is the problem.
Mm-hmm. And then I told the guy, I was like, hey, when was the last time like you did a tune-up, like wires plugs to this kind of thing? He's like, dude, I haven't touched that car in like 20 years. Huh.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
wonder it runs like
They've
shit.
not touched it, not just not drove it, they've not touched it. It's like, oh, we weren't aware of that when you asked us to get this running, because it makes it a lot easier for us, but that would have been good information up front, because the gas is definitely not great. And
We used to like scrap cars and stuff a lot for my dad. Just my dad's a fucking hoarder. Again, he's building another fucking car for his scenario. I'm like, oh, you don't have just 25 of them already, you motherfucker. We used to scrap tons of shit and just the fuel. And that was like why I was like super worried about like the Envoy's fuel being like bad, because it was fucking 3 years old. And yeah, fuel is nasty. I don't know what the fuck. It sounds like he's painting something. The compressor's good. I don't fucking know. It was like was it last week when he was out there fucking chainsawing at fucking 10 p.m. Yes, Sarah.
fucking,
This
dude.
So he comes home, and we had like the trailer out here because we had a bunch of branches fall down from the snow.
Yeah.
And this dude's out there at 10 p.m. Friday night.
His dad needed the trailer. His dad needed the trailer in the morning, so he's trying to get ready and like cut everything so it fits inside the trailer. And I happened to go up and pick up our food. It got here while he was doing that. He had his truck parked towards the trailer with the headlights on, chainsawing at 10 o'clock at night. We're here having our podcast, and people are just living their lives and just outside. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know what the fuck he's doing right now. Blowing something off, or
That's what it sounds like.
or painting.
Straight air.
Yeah, one of the two.
It's definitely air. It's blowing something out.
Right, but I mean, what time is it? Fucking 9 o'clock.
Hour away from chainsaw time.
I remember like
Beer?
Yes, please.
yeah.
He's blowing out the chainsaw.
might be. Remember like when I lived next door and I, was just out there and it was a nice night or whatever, so the garage door open, just playing on my computer, and it's like 1:30 in the morning.
Thank you.
And I hear, like, I'm playing games, like, I have my headset on, I'm like, talking to whoever. It's like 1:30 on like a Saturday. And just like, chainsaw. And I'm like,
Well, okay. I am that neighbor though, with my garage door closed. But I'm in my house.
right.
I've got my stereo fucking cranked.
I'm fine with that situation.
Cranked, and I'm like screaming, singing, having a great
Yeah,
ass
but a
time.
chainsaw is a different
Sander going
noise.
nuts.
When you hear a chainsaw at 1:30 in the morning, you're kind of like,
Massacre?
and I thought for sure it was Scotty D, and I look outside and he wasn't even home. And I was all,
What other fucking nut?
yeah, what other neighbor do I have that's just chainsawing at 1:30?
Is Uncle Eddie outside?
Like,
It's
it's one thing,
it's
like,
coordinated by the city of Fort Collins. Like, there's several different people around the whole city. Like, at one, we're gonna fire up our chainsaws. It's like when the 8 o'clock howl was a thing.
oh my god.
Oh my gosh, my niece loved that.
I'm
was
sure she did.
so excited. She was in the car the other day. She's like, Mommy, you howl with me, please? I'm like, right now? She's like, yes, please. Just driving down Main Street of Windsor.
I mean, I like making noise that makes other people go like, "What the fuck is going on?" So like, I thought the howling thing was funny. I wasn't doing it, but
It was
because, like,
really funny.
but like, one of my things I like to do is like just like make weird noises like outside of like in your car when you're driving by somebody, like you see window open, just make weird ass fucking noises.
The giraffe. You ever seen
Or
that
just
video?
the yeehaw, like just fucking pounding the side of your car, yeehaw, like, and like people like are like, what the fuck, like you're just in like not a fucking like a car that you would see somebody doing that in.
No, you're in like a shitty beater.
Yeah.
Trina. Yeah.
My prelude.
Yeah. Yeehaw! Just fucking. I'm loud as fuck too, so it works out. But it was like one you used to like. It doesn't happen very much anymore. Except for I almost got into a fight. What was it, last year? The year before last? It was with Avery on like birthday, and like these kids were like driving by yelling something, and so I like yelled back, and they like wanted to fight us, and I was all weird. But when people like drive down College, downtown or whatever, and just yell shit at you, and just I'm way louder than they are, so I can just yell more ridiculous shit. One night, me and Jack and Teddy were just like, we like walked from the Narg and we're just like walking around. I think it was before like, it might have been before Teddy and Jack were 21 at the time. So we're just like walking around and there's this big old Dodge pickup packed full of people and they're just yelling shit. And the first time that they came around, we yelled back. I don't remember what it was. And we walked through like the square and back around. We're sitting in the corner of College and Laporte. And they had made another loop in the time frame that we walked from wherever we saw them the first time. And then this girl is like hanging out like standing in the door, like saying something, like yelling something at us. And all I did, as loud as I could, I like small penises too! And she just was like, just back in the truck and we just kind of slowly drove away. I was like, yeah, I'm like, you can't fucking be like yelling dumb shit at me because I'm just gonna yell dumber shit back at you.
Oh man. I've never been hit on more, like driving down College, than when I was driving my mom's minivan.
I think this is kind of a, what is the word for it? Like, especially like a couple like years ago, like there was like the MILF thing like on the internet was like a huge like scenario.
Yeah.
So that's probably kind of like rolling on that one.
Yeah. But this is also like 10 years ago.
I mean, porn trends change pretty slowly, so like we're still stuck in the stepsis shit like for like the past like 3 years. You're like, okay, it's time. Like we all like should be over this situation.
No, clearly not. Clearly not. Clearly not.
Clearly not.
Clearly not. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like getting into Texas outside of the gas station, like just literally only out. Like I just lit up a cigarette, just like having a smoke real quick before I hop in the car. Texas boys do it better. Okay.
Yeah, when you told me that, I was like, it's a little awkward to do it at like 3 in the morning. Like
30 in the middle of fucking nowhere.
It'd be one thing if like it was like daylight out.
Downtown.
Yeah. Something like not just like, oh, cat calling you at 3:30 in the morning. That's not gonna sketch me out at all. Like,
oh my god. Oh my god. Unreal.
Yeah, I don't like. Has that ever worked?
No.
Like that's like
for me. No.
People that do that, like, has it ever worked?
So I bet it has, but not for me.
Yeah, I just don't know anybody that would work with in general. Like like cat
calling.
calling.
So.
No.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, like.
Really, it's just a better chance for like women to be trolls, in my opinion.
Right.
Like if you're walking down the street and you get like catcalled by a dude, I don't want to smile for me, baby, or just under being whatever. You just turn around.
I have a story for this, but
you just turn around and be like, that'd be fucking weird.
Right.
They just do what they ask.
I wish
but
people
do it
that
in a way
were.
that they don't want.
Well, it was so one of my friends when we were like 19, 21, like we go drive around or whatever. And at the time, I drove a bright pink Ford Escort.
Dope.
And I loved that car. It cost,
Bright pink.
it was like Mary Kay, like it was pearlescent pink. It was like a like 1 year color for the Escorts at the time, and you could only like. And I bought that car for $50 at 80,000 miles on it. It was fucking dope. I love that car. We could do 105 miles an hour as fast as it go, and it would get 27 miles a gallon the whole time.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, I got so many stories from that car, but during that time, one of my best friends growing up, who's no longer my friend, but like his like favorite thing to do was just yell at the window, "Show me them titties!" Like, and like not as like he was expecting it. It happened a few times, which is surprising.
It's more of a joke.
Yeah, it happened a few times, but it was like pretty funny. Where it was like, you're like there's three dudes in the fucking 2-door fucking Escort, this bright pink, fucking just trolling around like, "Show me them titties!" It was so fucking fun to do. And again, it happened a few times. Fort Collins was a different place then, though, too. That car was the best. I literally only saw... I never saw blue and reds, ever. And literally, I would drive it maximum speed everywhere. Like, literally, I'd drive down College doing 100 miles an hour. Like, did not give a fuck. Never saw blues and reds. That's a you. Yeah, I love that car. And when it got smashed, I was pretty unhappy with it.
How did it get smashed?
I was in Greeley, like right on 10th Street, going like before the Walmart. My mom at the time lived like right by the Walmart there, going on 10th Street, and just going to her house after long fucking day or whatever, and then there's all those like shops and stuff like right before you get there on the right side before the houses and everything else, and there's like an exit there where you can like leave the fucking the road, but you can't go on it. Well, these kids, there was like 9 people parked in a Jetta, like came out backwards, and like when they came in, I saw them, but like they came all the way over, and I could not go any farther, and I hit them in the middle lane. But because I hit them from behind, it was my fucking fault.
You assholes.
I was like pissed, and then that engine like. It went into Eric, because Eric had an Escort wagon at the time. He blew the motor up and put that motor in there. I was like, but I was kind of bummed. It was like $50, and like it was like in great shape. Like it had like got like slightly smashed, and then like the people that we bought it from, like they had just bought it for like a couple grand, but she like drove it into a ditch and like it fucked it up a little bit. But like I kind of like pieced it all back together, and they didn't want to spend the $500 or $600 it was to fix it, and I was like. They're like, what would you give me for it? I was like, I'll give you scrap for it, because it's what like it's worth at this point. Like scrap, what's scrap? $50 in the early 2000s. So I was like, here's $50, and then I just pieced it together and drove the shit out of it. Didn't have airbags at the time or anything, but that's because they all got blown out. We just kind of glued it back together, just because it was a cheap car. It wasn't worth paying $800 for each airbag.
No.
But yeah, I love that car. We just drive everywhere. I'd be blowing down I-25, 100 miles an hour. It did not matter. It was doing 100 miles an hour.
That sounds about right.
I mean, it's not very much different than it is now. Like, I just finished the transmission of the Envoy, and it got driven nicely for like 2 days. And then I took it up to Risk Canyon and like really like wrung it out a couple weeks ago. And yeah, just sideways. I'm like, well, I guess my transmission build first time ever is solid.
That's pretty cool.
Right.
I wish I could do cool stuff like that.
Anybody can do it. It's like I told you, like with your like spark plugs and your timing belt and all this stuff on your truck.
Yeah.
All gravy. I can help you do all of it. It's a piece of cake.
Okay. Well then, I want to buy you some beers and you can come over and inspect my car and see what we got to do to it, and then we can figure out. You can show me how to do it.
Yeah, it's yours. Your vehicle is one of the easiest vehicles to work on.
So great.
Period. They're like those Yodas are like so fucking easy to work on. Those pickups and Sequoias.
And they last forever.
They're so easy to work on.
Perfect.
As long as you do maintenance to them, they go forever. As long as you do maintenance to them, but yeah, they're some of the easiest vehicles to work on. Like ball joints are fucking so easy.
Good.
You don't have to press, like most cars, you have to press ball joints out. Those 3 bolts and then the big nut on the top, and you're done. They're fucking so easy.
Sick.
Big old nut.
Big old nut.
Yeah,
big old nut.
I would work on those all the time. They're fucking easy.
Nuts?
Yeah, that's what Dick's for.
I mean, honestly, like, a single brand scenario, like, if I, like, opened a shop and, like, actually, like, went to work back on cars, I'd be Subarus and hybrids would be my jam. Just because Subarus, again, you can charge. People don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And they're easy. And they're everywhere. And then the hybrids, I find to be super easy. Like, I've done engine swaps on Priuses. So fucking easy. Like, I was, super like, oh, I don't know if I can do this or not. Fuck that. I did 2 in a week. Like,
It's cake.
well, the thing is, like, those things, like, since people, like, don't think about the maintenance stuff on them, like, they have problems with, like, ripping brake pads off.
Yeah.
Because of the regenerative braking. And they have problems with rear main seals are pretty nasty on those 1.3s or whatever. Yeah. They go bad all the time. People like don't pay attention to them, so they blow up. And things like, for the most part, like even if they're kind of rod knocking, you don't hear it 90% of the time. So people just drive them until they're fucking junk. And yeah, engine swaps, they take like 5 hours.
Little subframe?
No, not even. You're supposed to take
They
them
come
out.
the top or the
You're
bottom?
supposed to take them out the bottom, but they come at the top no problem.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, they're easy. They're fucking easy. And the thing is, like, you know, again, like, those Toyota pickups, like, the 4Runners are a little harder in the mid-2000s to work on, but like, the full-size ones, the full-size pickups, the Tundras and the fucking Sequoias, gravy train.
Yeah, I had to go get an engine support bar the other day.
Yeah.
There was a Toyota Sienna that needed the subframe. On those, every single mount is attached to the subframe of the engine.
Yep.
So it's like it doesn't have like 2 on the subframe, 2 on the body.
All
So I was like,
subframe.
I'm not dropping the entire subframe, taking the fucking engine off. So $80 at Harbor Freight.
I mean, that's all you need.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of steel that, you know, is kind of
Hooks on
adjustable.
it, yeah.
Yeah, no,
That one was a little more sketchy because you couldn't set it where you ideally wanted to. It wasn't wide enough to sit on the front fender rails. So there was the shock towers and that skinny little diagonal from the fenders to the radiator support. 2x4 between the strong ass strut towers and these flimsy little fucking piece of metal. That's the only, and it held.
yeah.
But I did that subframe as quick as possible. I had the new one ready. I grabbed one of the other guys. Okay, I'm gonna drop this bolt. We're gonna throw this one down to the ground and put this one up ASAP. The last thing I need is this engine fucking falling to the ground.
Right.
Be fucking fucked.
I actually like working on the Sienna vans now that I figured out you can take the fucking the wiper module out so goddamn easy.
Oh,
Dude, once I figured that shit out, it takes like 10 minutes to do anything.
yeah.
Like, for
And
years.
that's what I had to do, but that whole cowl comes off so quick, dude.
That's the same way the Dodge Caravans are the same way, and the Honda Odysseys are the same way.
Take off the wipers, the cowl, the sport, and then that whole like metal panel.
Yeah.
Comes out like 4 bolts.
Dude, I worked for so long because I was used to like the Chevy minivans where you can't take that off. And
Right. It's like welded in.
right, it's like just part of like the scenario, and you're just like cool. Like
No
it's just,
room
like,
to work.
yeah, it sucks. And then like once I learned that on like the Caravans and those, oh, I mean like everything, like spark plugs. It takes no time at all to do those cars, and they pay well.
Yeah. Like that's not in the service info to do that, but if you know it,
Yeah,
it makes everything else so much easier.
it just takes 15 minutes to take it out. You're like, fuck it, yeah, like
saves you an
no,
hour plus.
yeah.
Of just
And then you're not
fucking
fighting
hand
like,
an idiot.
or like on like the Dodge Caravans where you're supposed to do the spark plugs from underneath, and they're a pain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? See you
Just take
later.
it off and
One
reach
plug,
around.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
piece of cake.
Yeah.
That was like, a few years back
I
they
like
had the recalls on the Tundras for the fucking frames,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and like, it paid 30 hours. Which, the first time you do it, probably all the 30 hours. But like, I knew kids that worked at the dealership that was like, oh yeah, I can do this in like fucking 7 hours, done. I was like, fuck yeah. He was like, one of the kids, he was just the guy that did it. And like, yeah, he was like, I was making, when that was happening, he was making like 150 hours every week. And it was like, at $35 an hour? Fuck yeah. Like, I was like, I wish when I worked at the dealership, like we had like those just as like service writer situation.
Yeah, no kidding. There's a Jeep I might. Well, it's probably gonna be total if it needs it. So, I went and looked at it and kind of gave an estimate of what it needed. It was a Wrangler. They were fucking muddy or fucking knows what. Fucked up the front axle and where the lower control arm went to the frame. It bent the fuck out of that part. So, and with Jeep. So when you mess with insurance, as far as repairing metals, you have to look at what the metal's made out of, the strength, blah blah blah. So Jeep's thing, and it's been this way for like ever, is all their frames and stuff, they're heavy metals. It's all cold press. So like once it's done, you can't get it hot or it fucks up the
Right.
unless you cold press it. So like it's funny because they sell that part that you can weld onto the frame, but you're not supposed to weld onto it because then it affects like the structural integrity of what you're doing.
Right.
So I told them when I saw that, I was like, you're not supposed to fix that. Like, according to Jeep, this thing needs a frame.
Right.
So they decided to try to repair it and see what would happen. So I took the axle out, whatever. They repaired it. Went and put the axle in. The whole front axle is sitting like an inch and a half to the driver's side. And it even had like, it was lifted so all the control arms and everything was adjustable. So even like trying to get it where it needed to be, I was like, something's like structurally fucked up. So had somebody come out and actually like frame measurements. Bad. Really bad. It's off like the right side versus the left side. There's like a 10 millimeter difference. Like bad.
That's bad.
Yeah, so I was like, well, it sounds like you use a frame now, so I'm going to bill you for what I've done, and you let me know. But it's going to suck, so I'm sure they're going to need a frame.
Right.
Unless they find out something, you're going to need a frame. At that point...
Because 10 millimeters is too much on a frame. Like, you could put it on a rack machine, the whole, like, the frame rack.
It's a lot of work, though.
Well, so I have problems.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a big gap to fucking.
So I have problems with the frame rack, and I might have told you this, but this is it's kind of a funny story. Well, kind of. So my dad in '99, 2000, he bought a new pickup, and like about 6-8 months later, it was a '99. It was like one of the last ones off the thing, but a few like 6-8 months later, it got hit by a garbage truck. Well, he was in it. It's kind of why my dad's like fucked up a little bit. But I got hit by a garbage truck, and but it was a new enough truck at that point that like they're like, well, we'll put on the frame machine and like, whatever. So they fix it. Well, once it became not his like primary truck, it always had the trailer hooked up to it. Well, about like a couple years in, it started making like really weird like noises. Like it always looked to sound like the fucking hitch was falling off. Just made like a ton of weird noise. And we'd always check the hitch, and the hitch was always bolted up, solid, and not a problem. So then it went this way like for like a couple more years. We're like, well, it must be like the hitch making a noise inside of it or whatever, and it's fine. Because we don't think anything of it. Like, we don't see any damage back there. We don't see the hitches like broken or anything. So like we don't think anything of it. Well, a couple years later, I put it up on the hoist to like do some like, we're going to take like RC racing or something. So I was like, I'm going to do all the maintenance on it and do the thing. And I just happened, as I was walking by, to like look like behind like the rear axle. The frame was broken.
Whoa.
And so for the last few years,
running around a broken frame.
The frame was broken between the two mounts for the rear suspension, the spring.
Oh my
God.
So the box was holding everything.
Dude, what
the truck box. And I was like, oh, that's where the noise is coming from.
Oh,
and at this point, the truck, had like 102,000 miles on it. So we're like, well, we can't like go back to the insurance and be like, well, you fucked this up situation, like that kind of stuff. So we literally took jacks, like jacked in the right spot, fucking torched that shit, put a big old fucking like weld on it. Never made the noise again.
Yeah, when I was working at that shop before Collins I was at last, we had one car come in that it was an old...
I had a Toyota frame story too.
I think it was an old Chevy pickup. They had done something to the frame. I don't know if they like shortened this thing or what they did to it. But you could tell at some point the frame was cut in half and welded back together. Mm-hmm. Not good.
Not good.
Not good. Oh, God. Dude, they've got like, so it's 1/4-inch thick frame back in the fucking 70s, heavy as shit. They've got 1/4-inch thick like steel plates, like bridging where they welded it. And there were certain parts where they were just holes blown through 1/4-inch steel. And other parts...
With a welder?
And other parts where there was just like those bubbly little fart welds that don't do anything.
Oh, shit.
We had
that
one...
is the easiest metal to weld. How'd you
right.
burn a
you
fucking
can't like
hole in it,
you can go as hot as you want on that bitch. You need a torch typically to weld the right way.
Oh,
like or an arc welder, like that kind of situation.
Like, are you telling me you sat here with like and all I had and like it had to be there's not a lot of people who have industrial equipment to do that themselves. But still, how'd you burn a hole through 1/4-inch steel frame, dude?
Right. I had one. It was a Tacoma, roughly the same year as your 4Runner. Early 2000s, and put them on the hoist, and like they needed like I don't remember what it came in for. It was like one of our dealership buddies. He's like, hey, we don't work on this kind of car or whatever. They worked with BMWs and Audis, and that's all they worked on. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't touch American and Japanese cars at all. Would not touch them. Still to this day, do not touch them. well, he's from Germany, and like that's just what he does. That's just how he rolls. So I don't remember what it needed, but I put it up on the hoist, and it sounds really bad as I'm going up the hoist. I'm like, that's not like a sound that it should have. Like it sounds like crunching. And I look at my like where I have it mounted and stuff, and it's like all good. I'm like, So then I'm like thinking about like just like doing whatever, and like I just grab on like the hitch and like kind of like lean on it, and it's all. I was all, and I look at the hitch, and the hitch is like it's not like bad or whatever, and I bring it down and I stand on it, and the fucking frame. And it was like in front of like the rear suspension. And I was all, oh. That customer was like, well, I love the truck. Fucking figure out how to fix it. And I was like, so my fucking, my fucking hillbilly ass dad's like, we're gonna fucking weld that bitch. And I was like, this thing is rusted as shit. It should not. And I was like, we'll weld it, but like, we have to have it in writing that it's not our problem if this shit fucking like the back of this truck falls the fuck off. Because it's so rusty. I'm like, no, not doing it. And he welded it, and I never heard about it again. So apparently it was okay.
My God.
But yeah, standing on the back of a truck, just it's on the hoist. It should never. Yeah, that should never be a thing. But yes, just on the bumper. Just,
Dude,
so I started I didn't want to do it. So I started like really fucking it up, trying to I don't want to do this.
Trying to make it break.
Yeah, so like I couldn't
trying to prove my point.
Yeah,
This is not gonna work.
I couldn't quite get it the fucking rip off because I was like, nobody's around right now. This is what I was like, I don't want this truck on the road.
Yeah.
At all.
I need to break it now.
Yeah, and I tried and I couldn't. I think the drive shaft finally finished the sucking up to it, and it just wouldn't. It was the drive shaft holding me back at that point. But I did not want to do it because nobody should fucking drive a vehicle that's that shitty.
So I had one body shop get mad at me for something they fucked up, but I was putting on the rack. I had to replace the HVAC lines. It was on a Equinox, so I had rear AC.
Okay.
So I had to replace those lines from the front to the back. So I get it on the rack, and so the pinch points on those Equinoxes.
I'm just gonna park this for the time being. This is a little behind.
It's just a pinch weld.
Yeah.
Where the fender meets the body meets whatever. So it's like 3 or 2 pieces of metal welded together. So I go where the standard lift point is, but where they fixed it on their side, the quarter panel was hanging down a 1/4 inch lower than the other piece of metal. So I lifted it, and of course that thing just bent in. And just kind of looked like shit. It's going to get covered up anyways, which I'm all pissed. Like, well, you don't know how to lift a car? I was like, what do you mean? Come look at this. You not know how to fucking do your job?
Right.
The only reason that folded is because it was hanging over a 1/4 inch too far. And they blew it up. I was like, just take your fucking grinder to it, cut it flat, and spray it with a little bit of fucking whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But they got fucking pissed. But I freaked out when it lifted because I just kind of shifted. I was like, what the fuck was that? I look over and it bent the whole fucking whatever. Just cut it off. It's not my fault. You did that wrong.
We had some problems with our the one hoist. So the concrete where our shop is not thick enough for hoists. It's only 3.5 inches when it should be 6+.
Yeah.
So that hoist on the our good hoist doesn't move around. My dad bought a cheap hoist, and it works.
The bolts that go into the concrete, I'm pretty sure, are longer than 3 inches.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Okay. We welded plates to this because it was moving too much. But we had to make extra these plates so it wouldn't slide, cars wouldn't slide around on it because it would move the fucking hoist just enough.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, sketchy.
Super sketchy.
I've had a hoist break above my head.
Fuck that.
What?
Mm-hmm. I was probably 17 or 18, maybe right around that range. And I had a pulse truck, and we still have this fucking hoist. It's my dad's house now, but it's a really old fucking hoist. Old.
Strings in a crank hold?
It has one piston with the chains.
Oh. Okay. One of those.
And I had a pulse truck on it, and I was doing something, nothing crazy. Like I wasn't like beating on it or anything, and the fucking like the pin like broke in it, like for like one of the like so like it like sagged like 3 inches, and like the frame of this truck like touched my head,
Oh fuck.
and I was like, not working no more, not today. Like we
You
had
pulled a
like,
Teddy
but-
Flinch.
yeah, yeah. It was
Solid,
like
dude.
you know, and but we have this truck on this hoist, and the hoist is broken. It don't go up or down.
It's the best.
So
That's exactly
we have these bumper jacks that have like flat tops, and they work great for upholstery trucks because you just like roll them under there and you bumper it up and do the thing, and they work good for like bigger vehicles, but like they're not really like, you know, designed for like cars or whatever. But so like we're like taking like and jacking the fucking like car up with these fucking bumper jacks at the top of them where you're not really supposed to put anything. Jacking this thing up and like putting everything in place, and like we welded the pin back together, and still like that. The hoist still works. It's not like pole structure are heavy either. Like they're just a regular ass fucking car weight.
I remember when I worked at that last shop before college.
Fucking
All of the lifts except for the one old one, all the locks were pneumatic, and the compressor took a shit.
oh fuck
So
that.
all the racks were taken. There was a car and everything except for the one. So we all had between 4 of us. We had one rack to use for like a couple days.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, and then we're like, dude,
I would have gone over there with like a fucking like air tank and a fucking bike pump to like
so the,
like fucking like you just got your fucking air tank. Like no way am I letting that shit sit on my fucking racks.
the
No fucking for just the fucking the locks. Get out of my face. Are you serious?
I didn't fuck with that shit. So
I don't
what happened? The motor failed on the compressor. So like, dude, it's a big compressor. It needs a new motor. It was like $2,500, I think, for a new motor for this compressor. And he didn't. He's like, I know there's a cheap one out there. I'm not gonna buy that one. So this dumb motherfucker goes to Home Depot and comes back with a $150 Husky compressor that's made for maybe like a blowgun at your house to run 7 bays.
Yeah, no thank you.
Dude, it took 2 hours for the compressor to build enough to get my car off the alignment rack.
No thank you.
That's funny though, because we're all like, we turn into a game, like we're all yelling at each other. Like everyone knows, like, because I got a waiter on the alignment rack. So everybody knows, like, don't use the air, I need pressure to get this thing off the alignment rack. And all of a sudden I hear a fucking whiz wheel in the other room. Hey, motherfucker, he's like, I need to work! And so we're hiding in places, secretly using air to get other shit done so nobody else knows, slowly finding each other. So I'm like, dude, why is it taking so long? In the distance I just hear, it's like, fuck. And I open up our storage closet. He's sitting there in the storage closet cleaning off an oil pan with his whiz wheel. It's like, I need the fucking air, you piece of shit. It was so
I
funny.
just get this car off the rack right now.
But dude, he came back with that. We're like, dude, are you serious? Like, we left for the day. It's like, nothing's gonna happen with that air compressor. And then we came in the morning, and I got there pretty early that day. I think it was like 6. That thing was still fucking running. It had been running all night. And at that
And his
point,
oilless pumps are not designed for that situation.
no. And it got to the point where I think it just failed. Like it was running, but like pressure wasn't being built. So they did, no.
Yeah.
It was like, just get the fucking motor.
My dad's also that cheap. So we have a lot
Dude, that motor sucked.
of tiny, not like small, like they're like real like compressor situations. We have, if we would have just got like one big one, like the twin motor like scenario, like those, like we would be perfect. But no, we have to have 5 small shop ones.
What the?
And I'm like, nah, get this shit out of my face.
That's when he finally gets it and shows up. And I dropped everything I was doing to go put that motor on. It's like, I can't. That's like when I made the transition.
Air is like a requirement in a shop.
Well, that's when I made the transition to like getting all my Milwaukee shit. So it's like, if this ever happens again, fuck that.
Right.
But yeah, it took everything in my body to get that fucking new motor 5 feet in the air. So
They're
fucking
heavy. Yeah. When you're like, sweet, this is 300 pounds. I was like how Spidey decided to do laundry when I'm fucking doing sound right now.
Because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
Like, he's here every other day.
Yeah, but it's
Of
laundry
any
day.
other
dude.
day. Of any
Any
day.
other day.
It's laundry day. Friday's laundry day.
Yeah, he needs to be hit. Like, actually.
You say that a lot.
I do say this. I don't actually ever
You
do
need to
it.
follow up a little bit.
I only, like, hit, like, a couple of people total.
Yeah, that number should be higher, being your name's Dick.
Yeah, but, you know, I'm not a violent person,
I
so.
know.
I say
There's
it a
nothing
lot.
violent about like little mushroom stamps.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Actually, can be.
Well, you're not a horse, so you're fine.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I think if I like went around, I think mushroom stamping people is more violent than just straight hitting them.
The violence not the right word. It's not more violent.
Invasive?
Yeah, it's a little more like.
No, it's way more like,
Personal?
yeah. Like the thing is, like if I'm hitting you with my dick, like as an anger scenario, is way worse than me just going
I
bam.
had a bruise right here that looked like a dick for a while. It was just.
It looked like a dick. It came from a dick. You know, it's a thing.
It wasn't a dick. It wasn't a dick. That's the thing. I was like, why does that look like a penis? Like, this is.
What was it?
I don't know, a
was
table
a
or
penis.
something. I wish it was a penis.
I don't know. That doesn't sound very fun. Like big penis, cool, whatever. But if it's like big
Gonna
enough,
leave a purple bruise? No, thank you.
if it's big enough to leave a pretty large bruise on your leg.
I think it's just at that point. It's like. I don't think it needs to be like big. Like it can't be like it's like, you know, fucking like micro penis like cause a bruise, but like a regular sized penis can cause a bruise.
It was like this big. It was like normal dick size.
Yeah,
It was
that could cause
like
a
normal
bruise.
dick. It was like a normal
It'd be
dick.
weird. It's like I guess it's down your leg a little ways. Like that'd be like kind of
If it
odd.
looked like if it looked like I had
Dude's
a
all
dick.
fucking like, I like slapping knees, motherfucker.
Could have been. He just pulled out and gave it a good old wham. Could be.
It was a knee slapper, but like not the right way. It's, again, you can't really do the micro penis here. He's all fucking like, they're all like, bam! Ha mushroom stamp. Nah, it's more like a fucking like tree stump, but.
That's different.
But like, yeah,
Not
like
fun.
I think a regular penis could do with some bruising if it really tried.
It would hurt.
It's like when like you're like in the bathroom and like you're like a little bit like chubbed up, you're all bam bam on the fucking like counter. Dudes are definitely like I've seen it like in a fucking like in like a gym like scenario. I'm like, bro, yeah. Yeah.
What gym do you go to?
I have not gone to a gym in years, so.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god. What goes on in a male
Slam
locker
a dick on
room?
the counter?
People have.
Why?
I don't know.
Leave a powder mark.
It's like that whole like there was like the whole like just like if you want your dick to be bigger, like just slap it a couple times before you like show it to somebody. Kind of
Is it
situation.
swollen?
Yeah. I mean people
Hey.
people do weird shit.
Pro tip: internal bleeding makes your dick bigger. Good for you, dude.
Sorry.
It's a good feeling when you have a child
Yeah.
and says your dick does not matter anymore. Because it works. It does the job, dude. I don't give a fuck.
That's fair. Nobody can say that you did not yours doesn't work.
Yeah. Size aside, it does the job, so I'm fine.
Well, that's kind of the thing anyway, right? Like it's even micro penises work.
Sometimes. That's just a shitty boat to be in, man. That's rough.
Maybe I don't know. So
I mean, I can't imagine it's that fun.
what?
I can't imagine it's like that enticing.
Right? I mean, I guess like it doesn't get stuck to your leg.
That's why there's no sayings like,
Doesn't
oh,
like-
once you go micro, you never go macro. You know what I mean? Like,
That's fair.
you know what they say? Once you go black, you're gonna need a wheelchair.
What?
See that movie? No, you probably haven't. White Chicks?
I have seen White Chicks, but I have not seen it in many years.
That's what Terry Crews says to him. You know what they say, once you go black, you're going to need a wheelchair. And then this other chick in a wheelchair comes up, hey!
How are you?
That movie would never.
And he like shuts her off.
No, dude.
Oh my god.
It's so funny. Oh, yeah.
One of the best movies.
Shuts her up and pushes her off into the fucking crowd. Because it wasn't his character, it was like his little like helper.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. Just pushes her off into the crowd. It's like, oh! That was funny. Yeah, that movie. Movies that they made 10 years ago that would immediately be canceled today.
Immediately.
So funny.
The Wayans brothers in general would just be canceled today.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did movies. That's probably why they don't.
Probably why they don't.
They still do stand up, but
That's a different world.
yeah, you can say a lot more fucked up shit in the stand up world as long as it's not.
It's kind of the expectation.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like a creepy illegal thing you shouldn't be doing. It's about the only. That's the only line that a few comedians just managed to cross.
See, like during like the comedy, like during like a stand up show, like you can pretty much do whatever as long as you context it the right way.
Right.
Yeah, like put the batteries back.
Right. That was funny.
I was listening to a comedian today who was talking about hecklers and how he was a comedian, but also his day job he was God, what did he do? Oh, he did real estate.
Oh, that would be so hard to do.
And he was talking about a story about how he's like, and that wasn't like good real estate. He's like, the thing about real estate, he's like, if you don't know anybody with property, it's really fucking hard. So he would get all the houses that like people couldn't sell. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about he was at an open house one day for this apartment. He's like, dude, you couldn't make it look good online with pictures, like nothing. It was just a shitty fucking apartment. He's like, this couple walked in, and he noticed that the husband had a speech impediment, like a really bad stutter. And he's like, it's kind of stutter that like is funny, but you can't laugh, but it's like really funny and really bad. So they're going through their open house, whatever, and he ends up finding out that the husband, that couple was at one of his shows. Because Wes, you sound familiar.
Oh.
Where do I know you from?
Oh shit.
And I finally find out that he's a comedian. He's like, oh, you're the comedian that made fun of my husband for like half an hour. Because it was like, apparently it was at a show where like he had to do crowd control like crazy. Like, people were just heckling left and right. He's like, you don't fuck with comedians. Like, we're prepared to handle this shit. We're professionals. You're gonna lose. So he's shutting down tables left and right, and I guess he was coming back from the bathroom, and he happened to like talk when everybody was silent, so you could hear him stutter from the back of the room, and apparently did like a 30-minute fucking roast on this dude. And then he was talking about how it's like obviously they're not gonna buy the house. They don't like him very much. So they finished the open house or whatever. And he's like, at this point, he's like, I know I'm not going to make the sale. And I'm a comedian, so it's what I do. So as they're leaving, I hit the little intercom and go, bye, and lock himself inside the house.
See, I wish these people would just have like more, like,
Oh god.
more of a sense of humor when it comes to like those like dumb things where like, obviously people are going to find your shit funny. Okay? Like there's like anything that we have like a problem. My round ass head as an example. My head's round as fuck. Like, say the fucking jokes. Like, make it like, who cares? Like, obviously, it's not going to change the fact that I have a round ass head. It's not a secret. Right.
It's out there for everybody to see.
Right.
So just like own it.
So,
just
and
like
that's
that guy. Don't get pissed. Like, you're going to tell me that you don't expect anybody to notice your stutter
right.
when you sound like Porky Pig? Like, what do you expect, man? Just be like more lighthearted about it.
I gotta have
it's funny.
I have a story about this. That's kind of incriminating if anybody looked into it for the person, but I don't think he gives a shit.
I hope not.
So this is years ago. This is probably like 10 years ago plus. So I get this call, or Evan gets this call from fucking Fat Wade, and he's like freaking the fuck out. He's like, this black guy, he fucking came in the house. Like, he's like, we're like, what's going on? Like, it's like 2 a.m. too. Like, what are you, like, what's your problem? So he's like, call Wingate. So I call Wingate, and he's laughing. Wingate is just laughing. so Wingate's at God was when he lived behind the Narg. Mm-hmm. And so we go over there, and we get there, and there's just, Fat Wade's gone. He's fucking peace. Apparently he was so frightened for his life or whatever just because there was a black guy. It sounds very Wade-like. But, so we go in there, and like Wingate and Gawa are hammered, and they're having a good fucking time. They're like, this shit was fucking hilarious. This guy can't, like, and they told this whole story. Well, so, one of Gawa's neighbors, like, was like kind of dating this guy or whatever, and at the time, this is the part where you look up, you can see who it was. The rest of the story. So he went to CSU. He's a football player on the CSU team, and then he played for the Seattle Seahawks. And then at this point in time, he wasn't playing pro football or whatever. And he's only like a couple years older than we are at this point. He just decided he didn't want to play pro football anymore. So, but the story started with this guy just like walks in the door, just opens the door with a fucking bottle of booze and just sits on the couch while they're fucking jamming out. And they're all like,
Who's this guy?
yeah, who's this fucking guy? So he tells like the story, like, fucking this girl or whatever. She's like, fucking doing whatever. And then, so we're all hanging out at this point. Like, we're just having fun. It's 2 or 3 in the morning at this point. And he comes back over with this girl, like, fucking, like just opens the fucking door, just smashes through the door, girl on his shoulder, like, and she's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she has no idea. And she lives, like, a couple doors away or whatever. It's like, they're, like, neighbors anyways. Walks up, and so, like, and then she, like, I don't want to fucking deal with you guys. Like, he's drunk as shit. You guys are all drunk as shit, all this stuff.
I'm out. She's out.
So, but this guy at this point now, he works with mentally challenged, like, kids, and, like, he, like, tries to help them with sports and do, just to help them out. And he goes on this, like, huge rant about, like, these fucking retards. People say you can't say retard anymore. They don't give a fuck. They call themselves retards. Like,
It's true.
and he just goes all off on this shit. And it's just, like, one of those moments where it's, like, growing up, like, my mom worked in a couple of, like, homes with mentally challenged students. We were always over there, and they would say the most fucked up shit about themselves. They didn't give a flying fuck. And now, like, the only people that are, like, worried about it are people that, like, don't have the problem. And it's like, you gotta calm the fuck down in the situation. Like, these kids understand that they're already there. Like, there's a movie or a TV series or something that, like, Christopher Titus, the comedian, like, helped out with. And it's like a bunch of, like, mentally challenged, like, people they were cops. And you've probably seen some clips on TikTok where it's like, why do you look like that? Yeah, I'm a retard. I don't have that. Yeah. Like, you're just ugly. Like that scenario, like, those people.
I'm a retard. You're just ugly.
So yeah, it's one of those, like, you just gotta take, like, obviously nobody should be making fun of, like, tearing you apart because, like, they want to tear you down.
Actually trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Because that's too much. But just making light of it, everyone knows you're retarded.
Right.
Let's just have
fun with
it's
just one of those things, like, let it be a thing. You look like a hillbilly, just be it. Fuck it. Yeah. Like, or, like, again, I make fun of, if I shave my head, just paint fucking basketball lines in that motherfucker. Like, do the fucking shit. Cause
shave everything and see what it looks like. Beard, hair, and eyebrows.
No, thank you. I look dumb as fuck without a beard anyways.
I'm dumb with a beard.
Alright, fair.
No, every now and then, like,
that was a firm, don't do that.
I got a memory, I think it was like a month or so, or a few months now to go back, when we were all hanging out at Tony's, before you had, like, your beard, and where you kind of look like Eric. And when we first met, it's different.
It's very different.
For sure.
There's one that, like, I was at Charlie's house after I'd, like, fucked up and I just shaved all of it off, and it was, like, much fatter than I am now. And I was like, bleh. It was, and I was, like, making, like, a face or whatever. Like, and there's one that was from, like, a New Year's party years ago. And this picture, like, I'm with, like, these 3 girls that I fucking know, and they're all fucking, like, smoke shows. They're all, like, good looking and that kind of shit. And you're like, what? I made the comment, like, I look like a deaf, dumb retard. Because it looked terrible. It does not look like me at all. If you see this picture, it does not look like me whatsoever. And I was like, that was also about the time that I was like, okay, I gotta, like, figure something out here, because I'm getting, like, fat. And, yeah.
Something's gotta change.
Yeah, something had to change. 'Cause it just was like a fucking like. It's like, oh, it was gross, to be honest.
I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
I mean,
No.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
No participation trophy from me.
I mean, my thing is like when I was like fattest was when I was like I was already depressed and shit. It was about a year after I broke my legs. I was like just super depressed with like all the bullshit and stuff. And then like when I went and saw Eben, and all I did for an entire month was eat and drink and smoke hookah and play video games for a whole fucking month. I didn't do anything for a whole month. And I came back like at like 3:15. I was all, this has had to change. Like it was a problem.
I'm proud of you for making a call.
Yeah.
Figured it.
Well, it's, there's those moments again. Like somebody like the other day was like talking about like, they're like like it was Wingate last week. Like depression when he would just get hammered like immediately and like one drink and just be drunk. It's like the same thing. We all like run through those moments of life where we have to like figure out our shit. Like if we're all just if we're 100% happy all the time, that doesn't exist. It can't.
That doesn't exist. No.
Yeah.
No, but what you do when you're in the valley, what you do when you're in the dark, what you do then, that's what counts.
Right.
You don't want to know what I do in the dark.
Oh yeah. Well, I know what I do in the dark.
He just pounds his head against the wall. That's all it is.
Sleep, dude. Let's take a nap. She's asleep.
As soon as I can take a nap, I do. As soon as I can take a nap. As soon as like if all the kids are sleeping, I'm like, dude, I'm out. 20 minutes. I'm in the kitchen in 20 minutes.
Fair scenario.
Oh man.
I mean, working from home, I sleep a little bit more than I used to, for sure.
Fucking love it.
I don't like sleeping. I hate it. I hate sleeping.
I really enjoy waking up feeling rested.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoy waking up because I
hate waking
I
up.
work more than most people do. Always have. Always have. And waking up feeling rested feels amazing. Because I usually will spin my wheels all night long about things and projects and stuff and what's next on my deadlines and who's doing what and when. And then on top of that, like I love and care like for 10 families. And so then I think about all of them and stuff.
Right.
And being able to shut my mind off so that I can rest and then wake up rested is amazing. Sometimes it happens in like a 20-minute nap. Sometimes it doesn't happen at all. And then sometimes it takes like a good day and a half before I'll wake up and I'll feel rested.
I think it was a couple weekends ago. I just had I think it was last week, maybe. I said like long week, had a lot of work done, a lot of hours put in.
Anybody else need drinks?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Thank you.
Fuck it, grab me one while you're up. And I think I slept until like noon on Saturday. It was nice to wake me up. You made sure Dorothy was occupied, but I just slept.
You needed it. Needed it. I'm so glad I don't have any kids of my own because I can do that whenever I want.
Nope.
I mean, but if I had a family, it'd be different. It'd be different. I'm thinking about taking like 6 to 8 weeks off for the summer.
Yeah.
To do cornhole boards and then like revamp my preschool. And fucking vacation because
You just
I want
rest a
to.
little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Just chillax.
Yes. Yes. My preschool's turned more into a daycare and that's been frustrating. Just because it's just been frustrating. I can't focus on preschool and teaching and learning and all that stuff when I spend so much time parenting. Not bites. But
Yeah, that's rough.
But if I take like a good break in the summer and then let my families know like what the reason why and all of that stuff, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. Plus, Stevie's going to go on maternity leave. Stevie's due at the end of July. So if I take time off while she's gone, then that helps me with my ratios and numbers and stress load so that I don't have to get a substitute and all of that stuff while she's on maternity leave.
Yeah, I mean, kids are hard on that situation. Like, again, like, especially when you have so many of them. Like, I don't know how, like, parents that had, like, 9 kids, because, like, those, like, I don't know how, like, that operates.
Oh, kids
Yeah.
end up parenting.
Yeah, well,
that's how that
that's,
operates.
you know, I get that, I know that. But just, like, their own survival on that, even if they are, like, a good parent situation, that kind of stuff, like, where
Right.
they care and
So
they want to be
much,
part of
dude.
it. Like,
Right.
it's just, like...
It
People that like
sucks
they're
you
like,
dry.
oh, I want like 7 or 8 kids. I'm like, you're fucking insane.
No.
You're
no.
insane.
I would maybe, like, at most, I'd have 4.
Even that sounds fucking.
But I deal with, like, 6 or
Right.
more a day. So I'm like, oh, the 4 would be easy.
Right. Well, it's also one of.
4 is a slow day for me.
It's also a little different though. Like when like it's a 24-hour situation now instead of
That's
10.
true. That's true.
You know, 10, 12 hours.
That's true. That's true.
So like it changes that scenario. Whereas
But
you
I'm
can
also
kind of.
alone most of the time.
Right.
If I had somebody else with me, I think that would also be different.
Yeah. It's still that 12
Fucking
like
shit ton.
24 hours in that
I'm
scenario.
already making
Like,
enough money that I can vacation. Are you kidding me? Don't go to Nana and Papa's every weekend.
I mean, that is like a plus 2 on that. Is like where it's like you gotta be like these people that like have a ton of kids with no like without like a financial like stability situation. Like they like purposely have a bunch of kids. Where I'm like, because I have like a guy that I call my uncle. He's not really my uncle, but I've known him my entire life, and he watches sometimes. He's a funny dude, but he's him and his wife for years they struggled to have kids, and she always wanted just what like. It was like, we're having as many as God wants us to have situation. And I was like, and so like, once you got one, they all just like, it was like 7. And I was all, you went from like 30 plus years of having no kids to 7. And they're all within, that 7-8 year time frame. Like they're fucking bam, 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 bam. And that's just, and like, they're doing okay these days, but back in the time, like, they didn't make a lot of money. And I'm like, having 6 or 7 kids with like not a lot of money, and trying to be like good parents and like provide for them and that kind of stuff is like, you should have planned on like not having just as many as God wanted you to have. Like,
should have calculated.
Yeah, like I have another family friend that like I love him and his wife and his kids are dope. And I haven't seen him in a couple years now just because I haven't been at the shop. But his wife was kind of the same way, and they had a bunch of kids. But they made a ton of money, and then all that money kind of like went like this. And so then they started struggling, and I was like, man, like that's kind of why like it's like, sorry you had to like plan your life, but like 7, and again where you have to have 2 Suburbans or 2 vehicles
Right.
that are huge,
Just
to
to carry everybody
carry everybody around.
You have the big fucking 12-seater Ford vans.
Right. Just to carry everybody around, which is like, like when,
Just to take the kids to school.
when my dad and my stepmom got together, we had added John to the situation. So there's 4 of us. 4 is like a doable situation. Like you don't need like, we got Suburbans and stuff because we tow trailers and rode snowmobiles and stuff anyways. But like, you don't need like the biggest vehicle for 4. If you need to take 2 cars occasionally, that's a thing. But when you have that many kids, like, it's either a requirement of 2 cars or 2 big ass cars. Like that's just kind of what it is. Yeah. So like, just the money thing. Like I make okay money. I don't make fucking like stacks of cash where I can just do whatever I want.
I'm
But
looking
like,
forward to that.
there's what?
I said I'm looking forward to that.
Making stacks of cash, yeah,
Fucking
totally.
A, yeah.
So like, yeah, it's.
I want to shop.
I don't know how.
So bad. I can't even fucking. I can't even contain it. Like, wow.
I would like to be
I'll have to
independently
move
wealthy. It'd be
Wyoming.
great.
I feel like I'm if to get the house and the property that I want, I think I'm gonna have to move to Wyoming.
Yeah.
Not
I mean, it's.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The money scenario around here, like, when I had to spend all that money in 2013 to like get some of the medical bills on my shit, I was like, cool, there goes my second chance at a fucking fucking house again.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's just like, at this point, like, 8 years later, I'm like, if I get there, I guess.
Yep.
So,
I know.
it's hard, especially like this is where I want to be.
Yep.
So I don't want to go anywhere else. It's like this perfect situation.
Right.
Like mountain biking's close. Fucking I can hit the lake. I can hit the snow. Everything.
Everything. Yep.
So it's
Yep. I know, that's why I'm like, oh, I need to make my house that I'm in work for as long as possible. As long as possible.
Right. I mean, you got a pretty solid deal over there too, but I mean, it's still like it's not like it's cheap either.
No, it's fucking not.
Yeah. So it may not be like outrageous, but it's not like it was fucking.
It's reasonable.
Right.
For what I have and where I'm at and everything, it's quite reasonable. I'm not gonna change. I can't wait for it to go month to month. Just be locked in forever.
Right. So it's one of those like scenarios, like, and that's even like where I'm at, like here, like, and don't get me wrong, I love Scotty D. He's a good friend and that kind of stuff. He's difficult to fucking live with.
I'm so glad I live alone. Like, the only way that I could live with another person is if they love me.
Fair.
Because right now, like, my house looks like a hot fucking mess. My preschool looks pristine. Where I live, mess. I've been busy.
Right. So, like,
Someone would have to love me to tolerate my dirty clothes.
Well, dirty clothes is easy.
But then also, like, my clean clothes.
That's an
Because I've
easy
got a
thing to
pile
tolerate.
of dirty clothes and I got a pile of clean clothes.
That's how men operate anyways.
Not
Well, so
this.
it should be
Michaela's-
easier than it has been.
Michaela's still trying to grasp the theory of like the keep pile.
We've worn it for like a couple hours and it's okay.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you put it on.
Yes.
You put it on a pile on the floor because you can't put it
That's
back
what
in
these
your
jeans are
dresser.
going to be tomorrow.
Right.
But you can't put it back in your dresser or in your closet because then those clothes will not be dirty.
Right.
But you also can't put it in the hamper because those clothes
Right.
will get this dirty.
Right.
So it just sits in this little spot for like a couple days.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Where?
then sometimes I'll have that pile and then she goes through and does laundry. I was like, where my clothes go? Those weren't dirty if they were on the ground. It's like, yeah, but they
But
weren't
they
dirty.
they weren't super
It's like,
dirty.
then why did you put them back? Because they're not clean.
Right.
Right. There's a middle ground.
There's a middle ground. And usually, like, my keep pile is what I wear in the shop. After, like, I wore it for a day. I'm
Oh,
like,
the shop clothes is always, you don't put them to the wash.
No.
They always get torn apart.
I even have shop clothes that stay in the shop just in case. Just in case.
Yeah. It's like when you spill that
It's
stain
just
all
an
over this shirt,
emergency.
you can put on the other shirt and you're okay. I got you. I understand that. Yeah, there's always like that pile, like, and jeans are one of those things too, like, you don't wash them every time.
No.
So like,
Not all the time.
you
I'll do
should,
it two
you
or
should,
three-
they destroy if you wash
I'll
them
do it
every
2 or
time.
3 days before I wash them.
Right. So it's like, you may not want to wear
If
it the
that.
next day. So like, you wear it the day after or something like that. Like jeans are always
Mix
one of
up
those
your
ones.
clothes because you know that you might see someone 2 days in a row.
Right. Especially like when we're like streaming, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm wearing the same shirt for 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's like, I haven't left my house. Like I haven't done anything, but I like need to change my shirt. So like the stream doesn't see that I'm wearing the same
It's
shirt
true.
as yesterday.
I noticed that. I did that a full week. So I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Normally, other days if I want to. But I was doing the every other day thing, but I didn't realize that every time I streamed, I was wearing the same fucking thing. It's like, so it's like I haven't left this chair.
Right. And so my problem is like, if I don't leave, I'll put like gym shorts and the same shirt on for 4 or 5 days. Just because I don't fucking leave. I'm not going anywhere. Like I may be sweating, nobody sees me.
Right.
And like,
your own stench.
yeah, it's a little problem. But like, and then like when I have
Me
people
too.
over, like you guys, or if I see, whoever else, like,
Right.
I'm like, okay, I have the shower, I do my thing, like to not be a complete like slob. I do
know.
kind of miss that, like
I
going to
showered
work every
today.
day.
I showered today.
No, good.
That was
I mean, we all appreciate that.
Nice.
Yeah,
Shower Fridays
me too.
are
I
great.
do too. Everyone loves a good one.
It's like I got home a little bit early. She's like, I'm going to take a shower. She's like, oh, what? So I'll see you in an hour?
Yeah.
I was like, it's the only time I ever take that long to get ready. It's like, usually I'll hop in the shower, do whatever. I'm not like Fridays. Like,
I don't want anybody to ever give me shit for how long I take to get ready. Because usually, most of that time, It's my own me time. I'm usually so busy doing stuff
Right.
for everybody else in every other way. Like, someone give me shit one more time for getting ready. Go fuck yourself. You fucking leave.
So,
Fucking
right,
leave.
See, I'm not like, you know, but I understand like your scenario again. That me
Yeah.
time, like for me, like all of my time is me time. Like,
You lucky son of a bitch.
I've never been a person to take long showers, and I don't take like hot showers. Mine are typically like near cold showers. Like they're just like, it's just so I'm not like, oh, this is fucking cold. This is like it's just warm enough. This is perfect because it's better for your skin for one, and it's better for your hair. The whole thing.
I don't fucking.
I'm guessing you're a fucking like boiler like.
No, so usually like in the summer,
You just
like
get
spring,
clean
summer.
by like peeling your outer layer of skin.
I mean,
I don't use
sometimes.
soap. I never have. I just peel that epidermis off.
Yeah, I just rub it off real quick. No, sometimes, I mean, springtime and summertime, that's when I usually take a cooler shower for sure.
Feels so
Oh, so good.
good. What is it called?
Back in the day, my
Cold
favorite thing is
showers
at the
better.
shop. We just go to the swimming hole.
Mm.
No showers every day. You just go to the fucking river, go swim, and just come back out. You'd smell like a river, but I did not give a
I'd rather
fuck.
smell like a river than what I did before. No, but
I
like,
probably poisoned some fish a few times, like sitting there like fucking real mucky, like.
Some shark action.
I don't know. But I'm like my bathtub, I'll sit there and I'll soak, and then I'll let some of the cold water out.
I mean, you got that one where you could like
I also-
close the
I
door
close
and
the door.
sit down.
Dude,
It's
I
a
get in
wheelchair
there,
like accessible one.
But then it's also deep too, so I can like.
Yeah, so it's like fucking like if you're sitting in it, it's
a
like.
small hot tub.
Yeah.
Fucking ass.
I know, yeah.
Your ass. It is so nice.
I haven't fit in
It
a
is so
bath since middle school.
Oh, come over to my house so you can take a bath. No shit. Evan can take a bath in my house.
Okay, Evan and I both take a bath at the same time.
If you sat on this lap.
Won't happen anyway.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh man.
I can't remember the last time.
Bubbles in my tub. Because if you use bubbles in the tub, like they just like.
Well, because you only like the top. It's not like a big. It's just because it's
No,
deep.
It's just deep.
It's like you sit in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember last time. Like, I like sitting like in the shower scenario. It's like we have a bathtub that but like I never use it as a bathtub. I'll sit in the shower and just fucking like fucking. I like doing that like.
I love it.
Everybody loves doing that. Everybody loves that.
Just sit there, just sit in the fucking shower is dope. But I can't remember last time I took like a bath.
I don't understand baths at all. As far as like getting clean.
I mean, it's the same thing like a mop situation where you you use dirty water, so you're still mopping the floor up with it, right? Do you dump it every time you dunk it in there?
Yeah.
You're a liar.
I'm lazy with mopping now, dude. I get the mop wet, and then I just have a spray bottle of cleaner, so I spray around mopping. And easy, quick way to. What do you gotta mop every day because your kid's a fucking satanic demon? That's what it is.
That's fair.
Oh my god.
I mean, I have the
Look
mop
it up.
attached to my robot vacuum, and I still haven't hooked it up yet.
Oh. I had one kiddo that had some diaper rash this week, and it was warm outside, so I just let him hang outside without clothes on and his diaper loose so that he could just like air out a little bit, and then he ripped his diaper off, and I was like, fuck it, like it's fine. It's fine. So he's running around with his diaper off. His whole ass was covered in chalk. Like he was just like covered in it. It was so funny. And they came inside. He came inside the house and he was like looking at. I have All About Me posters of all the classmates and stuff on my wall. And he's standing there like totally butt ass naked, just standing there looking at all the posters, and he just got real still. Just peed. Like all over the place. I'm so glad that like that hallway has my laundry machine stuff, and I had towels waiting. He just peed on all the towels. Missed the wall, missed the posters.
You got so
missed
lucky.
Everything.
Nice.
He just
I love that concentrated face they get.
he gets so concentrated. I caught a kid. Okay, so I have a kiddo who should be potty trained. Old enough, you should be potty trained. Not potty trained. So we're outside playing, and he's like playing with his friends, and then he runs away to go potty to come back. And my sister and I caught him like, oh, no! Then we ripped that diaper off and we were just like, you can play outside. Your pants are not a diaper. Pants are not a diaper. Oh, man.
That's, yeah.
He wasn't too stoked about that day, but I felt like it was a success because it was less diapers I had to change.
Right.
It's too true. It's too fucking true.
It's kind of like that when you, like, as an adult, when you have to, like, fart in an area you really shouldn't want to fart in. You're, like, in a bar, like, you're, like...
So we just
Here.
But even, like, you know, it's like one of those ones that you know you're good, but, like, you just, like, it has to be, like, a little push. And you're, like, you just go, not make the face. You're just, like... Yeah. Lift up just a little, like you're like
just
you're
rock to the
shifting.
side.
Yeah,
Just shift your weight a little bit. Okay.
everybody's walking by like, what the fuck? What's going on over here? Oh, I don't. What? I smell it now too. Do you busted today? Like situation. Yeah. You got the perfect face for that. Boy. You got the chain all hanging out.
I'm one chains.
I think it would be kind of cool to have a big old chain, like a big old one, like a real situation where like bam, and like you just have it always like hidden so people can't like see it, and then like one day you're like fucking like you're like fuck, like this is itching, or like you bring it out, and they're like what the fuck, like oh I wear this every day.
Yeah, you're at a bar, you just pull out this hunk of change, just
It's all bang, it's all fucking ding, like it bangs on your chest and makes the noise. Like
fucking uncomfortable.
this is all itchy. I'm allergic to cold, but I wear it every day. Like
Never really wore necklaces outside of this one.
I'm not a jewelry person.
I got my ring and this, and only because they both obviously have some sort of sentimental value.
Right.
But
I
always did like bracelets. Like I always did like the rubber bracelets and stuff like that. The watches. Outside of that, earrings.
working at the shop my entire life has kind of made me anti. Like I just never did jewelry, never did anything, just because like in the shop you just don't want to wear any of that shit. So like, cause you see people get watches caught and shit, and like when you're trying to like stuff your arm, like so like I just never got on the like jewelry chain like train ever. Yeah. Like I'm just not like a accessories kind of person.
They'll see me hanging over
all I got is my fucking beanie. That's it.
They'll see
that's
me
just
like,
I don't want to do my
down,
hair.
like over like a fan or something, and this is hanging like right here. Like, aren't you scared it's gonna get caught in the fan? I was like, if this gets caught in the fan where it's hanging like an inch below my chin,
I'm already
it's
too
already
deep.
a problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I'm wearing a giant fucking chain.
Do your chain hang no to the Oh man.
That's why I thought wearing
Jesus Christ, we've already been over almost 3 hours already.
I know. I was gonna say I'm gonna go get some food and go home.
All right, well, we can cut it here. I've had fun, so
Yeah.
me and Travis can go to the bar.
Cool.
Cool.
See Maddie because her birthday was yesterday.
Fuck y'all.
Well,
The smoke came out like you were spitting.
where are you all going to?
Probably Tony's again.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be telling you forever.
Yeah, we've gone last like a couple weeks. We had fun a couple weeks ago. Like we just sat next to Omar and Tony and just like fucking
a lot
were
of
like
fun.
clowns.
And then last week, fucking Wingate sitting there talking a bunch of shit. All right, Drinko, you all under the table, and he was toasted before we got to the bar. He just got a beer and just sat there and just stared into the distance like a fucking weirdo.
Sounds like
And then V got all fucking hammered, so she was all fucking like touchy-feely, like running around doing whatever. And I was like with the lesbian girl.
Next to us, there was a lady in her beard,
Oh,
and
fancy.
yeah, she was it was
Real
kind of
fancy.
interesting. But then me and V were talking a lot about putting stuff in Wingate's butt.
Yeah, so I got the text
Like
message
this
on.
finger.
I got the text message on Saturday morning. Wingate goes, V raped me.
No.
I was like, all I was
Did
like,
you like it,
all I did was
Did you
LOL and just didn't even respond to the rest of it. So he probably got some fingers of butt.
Good,
You probably liked it.
Probably did.
probably.
I mean,
He likes to poop everywhere, so it works
I
out.
mean, you know.
All right, on that note, like, comment, subscribe.